All right. And we are live. The last word with Lord Cognito and Ebontis. Friday evening campfire. Cool special guest. Let's start with the co-host first, though. Man, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Been living in the world of the Umbrella Corporation lately for the last few days. So
Mhm.
yeah, jumped through Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, did that over Wednesday and Thursday, just kind of long stream, finished it, and then got about 4.5 hours this morning. I'm probably going a little slower than like some of the people saying it's about 10 hours, but got about 4.5 hours in this morning. So yeah,
Mhm.
the 9'6" tall lady is officially, yeah, she's tall, she's big, she
Yeah,
is she
it's a
is
big lady.
all of that 9'6" and could just basically smash a basketball goal. So, which is very fitting for our guest.
Yeah, let's
So
bring him
shall
in.
we do this?
Yeah, let's bring him in.
All right. Welcome to The Last Word, episode number 148. As we wrap up Season of the Chosen, and it looks like Hunters will win the games, and officially have now, make sure that you go partake in the closing ceremonies. It's been an exciting week of information about the future of Destiny, and we are pumped to be joined tonight by a true legend in the community. His gaming journey started early with the green and black Game Boy, some classics we all love, and some surprise favorites along the way. Gaming was a way to pass the time and relax when he wasn't putting in the work on the court. And this man was putting in the work. So much so, he represented the Gyrenes at the collegiate level.
Woo.
He is as sharp as they come, both on and off the court, with the master's degree to prove it as well. But all of those brains weren't ready for the journey Taco Bell was going to send him on over the past 7 years. So, hailing from Florida, New York, and most recently Oregon, let's welcome a true Sherpa of the Destiny community, member of Gamers First and Tier 1, who is powered by Corsair, Elgato, Logitech, and Advanced GG,
Flex.
partners on both Twitch and Discord, the man with the only 500 of 500 vault that matters because it is made of gold, whose first language is actually French, and whose stream tunes are smooth and always pleasant to the ear, just like a basketball going nothing but net. Tonight, the campfire is graced by the one and only Ekuegan. Sir Ike, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Hey, man, I'm always chilling, man. Thank you very much for the invite.
Oh man, very, very happy to have you. Seriously, like you've got quite a few accolades in the world of Destiny and just life in general. But man, how are you doing today? What have you been up to? Obvious, besides what I saw you streaming earlier.
Yeah, I just been chilling before like the new season. Like I'll jump in and like help people with grandmasters here and there, but
Mhm.
it's more like just diving other things for other games, and then when the new season comes in,
Mhm.
get ready to play. It's better that way too. Like you don't get the whole getting burned out feeling,
Yeah.
especially with VOG coming, and then like the adding 6-minute activity and
Mhm.
transmog and like this weird pinnacle mission that's gonna be like different than what we had before. So it's gonna be
Mhm.
pretty neat.
Yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about, man. First of all, salute to you for coming through. Love what you're doing out here in the community. I gotta start with some gaming history first, man, because I saw some titles that
Oh,
really
there's
excited me.
one. Oh my god, I was
There's
so
one in particular
surprised.
that I gotta start with because it is a very contentious debate in the Final Fantasy community. And I
Uh,
saw the Final Fantasy that I wanted to see on your gaming history. So let's talk about it, man. Final Fantasy 7. Why is this so special to you, Emmy? But why is it so special to you, sir?
I spent a lot of hours in that game. I would like get off school, get on the bus, get home just to play that. Like it was, I don't know, it was just very addicting. It was different for that time too. Just having all those different abilities and having your team set up. It was just, I don't know, man. I was in the whole time every
Nice.
time I played it.
Nice. Now, was that one of your like introductions to JRPGs, or was it just because it was? I remember in the PlayStation, it was like kind of like a spectacle at the time. So it's just
Yeah.
like, what was the allure? What kind of brought you in?
Actually, my friend, he was from Egypt. My friend Nader, he had it, and after school at times, like I would go to his crib or whatever, we'd play video games. During that time, we had a bunch of different games, like Metal Gear Solid was one of them as well. But like when I played Final Fantasy, I was like, man, I need to get this game, and I didn't have the money at the time. So once he beat it, he let me borrow it.
Nice.
And then, like, after a while, I ended up, like, I actually gave him Yu-Gi-Oh cards for that game. I remember
The Yu-Gi-Oh! To trade in. I like
There you
that.
go. That's
Friendship.
equivalent for used title. I like that.
Respect
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I think I gave him one of the god cards when it came out. It was like 3 gods or whatever. I think I gave him like El Ra or something like that, and he was like, "Yeah, you can have it." I guess he wasn't into it as much as I was, but yeah, I got to like keep it, and I just kept playing it. It was one of those. I don't know, man. Like Metal Gear Solid was really good for that time. It was a really hard game, but this was just like it was flashy. There were so many things going on, and before I knew it, it'll be the end of the night. Past my curfew, I got to get in bed. You know, like it was a game that got me in trouble, but you know, it's worth it.
Those are the ones that like the things that you'll like stay up late and break the rules for tend to be the ones that usually tend to be a little extra worth it. So
no, for sure.
Yeah.
I think for me, real quick, is what last thing was just that I remember the moment. For me, it was the first time because remember it was the materia system. So for me, it was the first time I saw a summon like Leviathan, and I
my
was
brother
just like,
showed me those. I was
"What
like,
is happening?" Like it blew my mind that games were doing this, and I was just like, "Yeah." Shout out to Sultan. He said, "Knights of the round." And still, yeah, that was a long summon, but but yeah, like summons in general, like I never seen it. It was just such a cinematic showcase, and it just made me connect more. But yeah, I wanted to shout you out with that because when I saw that, I was like, "All right, that's some Final Fantasy 7 love." There's a lot of 6 guys, but I'm a 7 guy, so I got it right.
yeah, I've missed most of those, but with 7 Integrate coming, I didn't play the remake recently, but I was like, I haven't played 7 ever, which is just a giant glaring hole. And I was like, oh, 7. And then I never got around to it because, of course, we're always busy with Destiny. But I was like, and then PS5, and I'm like, Integrate's coming. I'm like, oh, I got to wait for that. So I'm going to go 4K 60. And that's, I know it's not like the true one, and it's only a piece of it. But again, if I'm going to get started, it's going to be pretty. So I'm looking forward to that one. I had to ask you about another one. I've never seen anybody list or mention this game, Aladdin. Like, that is a game that I beat as a kid. Nobody else says anything about that game. Like, man, tell me why that is on your list.
Aladdin was fun to me. It was just like running around.
Oh, it was.
You were jumping over things that were like the little fire pits that you had to go over. You had the carpet. Like it was. I don't know. It was a cool Disney game. But I played it so much. I failed a lot at that game, and I kept playing it.
Yeah, no, that's one of those that's one of those weird platformers and Disney that I was like, I actually played through, and I was like, I had fun playing it. Like, there's always the classic platformers, but I remember that one specifically because I was like, I'm gonna try and beat this thing. It's like, you rent it for like 3 or 4 days. So you're trying to play it as much as you can, something like that. No, it was hard, but it was actually well done. It's kind of a little gem that I always forget about. And you mentioned that, I was like, wow, it's been a long time since I haven't thought about that game. It's a good one. So
it reminded me of Castlevania because I couldn't get Castlevania when I was a kid. I played it a few times, and then when I got Aladdin, I was like, all right, cool. Why not?
Platforming is a classic, of course. And then, of course, you had some RPG background. You had a little shooter background. Now, your choice of Modern Warfare is not a typical one that we hear. What makes you specifically like, first one, which one do you like? Because we know what it is, but the audience doesn't. And why that one over, say, some of the others? Curious.
Okay. I think I stopped at Modern Warfare 3. 3, 2, they were all good. But for some reason, when they went into Black Ops and all this futuristic stuff, it just, I don't know. I didn't like it.
They lost you. They lost you.
In Modern Warfare 3, it was so fun, man. I ran the support class, and then it was like 2 kills, you get the map, 3 kills, you get the ballistic vest, you could drop it down. And then I had like the US Spaz Shoddy and just run around with that with an ACR. So it was just like, that was nice. Like you were able to like spawn trap and everything with, with some of the stuff. And then like the next game came out, I was like, people like jumping on walls. I was like, nah, this is not it.
Yeah, like, I'm good. They went, was it Advanced Warfare? Is that really when they went wall jumping? I think was that lost me too. I tried it. I'm like, this is.
I wasn't feeling that.
Titanfall did it better anyway. That was Titanfall 2 especially. It was like,
that was when they were trying to catch the Titanfall wave. And I was just like, it just don't fit. I'm with you on that. I was not a fan.
It's like, you knew they got it wrong when they're like, boots on the ground. Like, that's aren't, it's like, yeah, you messed up. Try again. So, but no, like, the reason I asked is like Modern Warfare 2 or even 1, like when it went early. So that's why I was like, is it just because 3 is the one you stuck with the longest, like after they kind of did that sequence? Is that why?
like I went back and played too, but all the lobbies was just full of people hacking.
Oh, that's
What?
fair.
Yeah, it wasn't fun anymore. Two wasn't that fun, but three was like the most recent, so that's what they like kept working on, or like that's where like they try to keep the cheaters out of.
Yeah.
So it was more enjoyable playing that than it was playing two.
That makes sense.
Like I remember I went in the lobby with two people just like flying around, just shooting like fully auto. I was just like, nah, can't do it.
I feel you, bro. I feel you.
Yeah.
And that magical game that we've come to love, right? That Destiny done snuck in
the
there,
story
man.
you have told on so many different places. I heard it a while ago on DCP. You've told it many places. Give the quick recap. You don't need the full thing. How did you? How you gotta let the people know. Like, how did you get into? How did you get your PlayStation and Destiny? It's just too good.
It's a good story.
So I mean, when I play college ball, whatever. So during basketball season, I just try to like stay out of trouble. Just like stay in my dorm room after practices. So like 2 practices a day. And my friend Perry, he had Destiny on his PlayStation. He introduced me to Destiny. So like I made my own. Like I had my own account. So I used to play on his, and he ended up like leaving the next semester. So I can't really do anything. And I remember my roommate Mike was like, well, Taco Bell's like doing this giveaway thing. They have like these $5 boxes. I was like, sure, why not? Because we had to drive into Naples because my campus was like, it was 30 minutes away from Naples, something like that.
Okay.
He was the guy with the car, so it was really nice. We drove there, and I got one, but I never got the box. And the second time we went, because we used to go at night, and I told the lady, I was like, hey man, last time I got this $5 thing, but you guys never gave me a box. So she gave me 2 boxes, the second time, and I ended up winning off of one of those 2 boxes. So
That's so crazy. Be like, can I have that extra one? It's worth a PlayStation, thanks.
I've never won any of those things in my life.
Nah, it's crazy because I won an Xbox One X when I moved to Oregon, and it was another Taco Bell one too. But I gave it to my old roommate because I wasn't playing on Xbox at the time, and her and her boyfriend, they were sharing the same Xbox anyway, so it was just like something that she could use.
Yeah.
And
I mean, salute. That is a tremendous story. I love hearing stuff like that.
Taco Bell know this story?
Nah.
You need to be like a testimonial, like a shout out to like my career started thanks to Taco Bell. Like this is it's a weird thing, but like that's like you could get some love right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Taco Bell for life, probably. Easy advertising.
Man.
Yeah, man. Look, they need to holler at the boy, man. They gotta get at you.
I mean, Taco Bell for life is not going to keep you healthy for the athlete over here, but it's something. You just one Doritos Loco Taco a day. That's all you need.
No doubt.
Yeah.
What I was gonna ask you too is content creation, just in general. Like, so now obviously playing Destiny, you kind of fall in love with it and stuff like that. So it's like, what then kind of pressed you to say, okay, you know what? I want to do this streaming thing. I want to get into the creation aspect with Destiny.
I was streaming for fun. Like my old clanmates, they used to just play the game and they're all streaming. We'll just be like in the PlayStation chat, just like joking around. I'm like, what the hell you guys doing? Like, I'm streaming live. Go check this out. And I had not even a Twitch account. I think it was like I had a Justin TV account. So then it so my name just went straight forward to Twitch. Because I went to go look for it and I couldn't get my name and I hit forgot password and it sent me an email. I was like, all right, cool. So I do have this account. So then I hooked up my PlayStation account to it and I started streaming. It was when Crota came out actually. Yeah, I would bring a clanmate with me. We'll have 2 Gjallarhorns and we just like help kids out with Crota. Like they shot their rockets at his leg as long as they had cluster bombs. It worked anyway.
Facts.
And yeah, that's when I started streaming. And honestly, I didn't take it too seriously until I got out of college. I had a job in Florida because my ex was from Germany. She had another year in the U.S. before she graduated. That didn't really work out. And then I kind of I don't know. I just quit my job and I went back up north.
Okay.
And I don't know. Like I was just playing video games because I was like, man, this is kind of weird. I fell down. And I was in a weird slump. So I was like, why not? I was doing bike messenger work And then whenever I got home, I used to play video games. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start streaming again. See how it goes.
Right.
And that's when like streaming actually started picking up for me.
Mm.
So during that time, I would like go to work, come back home, then stream, then pass out, then wake up, and then go to work. And over time, the channel just kind of grew, and I ended up finding again partnership. So I was like, man, I don't think I want to live in New York. I have 4 roommates, paid this much money.
Oh, you'd already know them New York. I'm
Oh.
originally from New York, so I already know that struggle that you talk about right
Yeah.
there. For a
Yeah.
little small apartment or a big apartment, people got to share because the rents are so crazy. Continue.
Yeah, I was in Brooklyn. The
Oh,
thing
you
when I was in school too, every summer I came back, I had to like find another place. Like I lived in Park Slope for a bit, then
nice
came
area.
back, then had to move to Williamsburg,
Nice
then
area.
came back, and then moved into Bed-Stuy. And I was like, man, what the hell's going on? Right? Yeah, like it's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
paying like $1,400 a month, and I have
yep.
4 roommates.
Facts.
Like
Jeez.
it's just
Facts.
wild.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking for like a reasonable way for me to just like focus on streaming and just kind of work on my channel and maybe like have time to do YouTube and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you guys know Libra LeBron. He was also in Brooklyn. We used to go to the gym together all the time.
Mhm.
And one of my friends reached out she lived in Oregon, she had a home, and she was like, well, there's 2 rooms. If you guys want to move here, I'll charge you like a certain amount. If you guys can do that, then you can stay here, save up your money, and then like move to where you want to move.
Right.
So I ended
Nice.
up just taking that.
Nice.
And
Awesome.
yeah, it wasn't a bad idea because it actually helped me focus more.
No, salute to you, man.
Yeah.
That's not easy too, because especially from what you're used to, and then also making that shift, right? Like just in
Yeah.
general, you know what I'm saying, and then continuing to do it. So salute to you on that. That definitely was a power move. And I'd like to see that you had stuck with it, man. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because
Well,
streaming is tough, man. I don't think about it. I look back at like other people that like were streaming around the same time trying to grow. It's not that simple. Like
Very tough.
yeah,
Very.
you might not enjoy the game that you're playing anymore. But people that hung around, maybe their situation changed. A lot goes on, and you got
life
to be
in
ready to,
general. Yeah.
work on it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of one of those things that Destiny has tested a lot of players' kind of willingness to be flexible or force themselves into a burnout state, which kind of sucks on either end because
Yeah.
it's not always on. I mean, we've loved the game over, 7+ years now, and we're here for the journey and whatever the hell else is coming while we're
Yeah.
doing this. But also, it's like there are times, and I think some of the healthiest that it's been for me has been in the last year. Again, a little bit of variety. I've seen you playing Genshin and checking out something else. I've jumped onto like Resident Evil. It's like, and if you have a down part in a season, or it's like, hey, this week I've knocked out everything I think I want to do. Hey,
Yeah.
there's a cool game coming. I'm gonna jump on that for a little bit, and that has been the healthiest thing, as opposed to just living and breathing Destiny. Because at a point it was fresh. There was always something new. Like solo Nightfalls were cool. Stuff
Yeah.
like that were fun. And now, like with 2, it's just felt different. And the ones who have tried to live it, it's harder. Granted, I
harder.
mean, like your Sherping is just on another level. I'm very curious though, is there a point for your golden vault, the 500 masterworked? Was it like, is there a point where you started to just see it accumulate and you're like, okay, may as well just put these resources? When did you decide like I'm gonna fill it? Like how far in were you when you're like, I just gotta fill it up at this point? When did that actually like click? I'm curious.
I think it was. I mean, it was the season that I put it in there. Because we were doing GM helps, and every time I'd be like, man, I'm not getting shards because they put a cap on it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna start masterworking my like exotics that I get. I'll just throw it in the vault,
Mhm.
and then my vault maybe only had like 100 things in there,
Oh,
Mhm.
and
nice.
it just slowly filling up. And then the next season was at like 400 something. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to just like get rid of all these weapons and just put all this gear in here until I get it full.
Did
And
you
then that became the
lose?
goal.
Did you lose anything to make that space to go for 500? Did you have to get rid of any like kind of crucial things, or pretty much staying
Nah,
liquid? Nothing major.
no, it's because everything got sunsetted. So then it was one of those
True.
things of like, all right, cool. It's cool to have this in the vault, maybe just to show off in the future, but it got sunset, so it's not gonna do anything for me anyway. So
Right.
I kind of got rid of a lot of sunset armor and weapons, and then that allowed like the whole space to be there. People were like, where are your weapons? I was like, these are the weapons I use all the time anyway. So like, boom, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like you need probably a very short list to actually do GMs because some of the big
Yeah.
stuff's going to be somewhat similar. Your anarchies and your big stuff you'll keep around. In between
Yeah.
3 characters, you probably have no space to move at all, I'm guessing. So,
Yep.
you got a favorite? If you had to pick a class, like say to rep in Guardian games, do you have one? I
Yeah.
mean, do you have
What was
Oh
a?
man,
What was
I
that
didn't
about?
pick any for Guardian games. I don't know. Everyone's always pinning me as a hunter main because I've done a lot more help on the hunter.
Mhm.
But then like this season, everyone's like, "You're a warlock main, man. You know, you're only doing help on your warlock." I was like, because that's the class that's needed for stuff this season.
Yeah.
Like 2 seasons ago, I was on my Titan more.
I
So
feel
it's just like for me, it depends on what's happening in the game. And a lot of people always say like, "I'm a main of this,"
Right.
and then when the season comes around, and like you can do it easier with a certain character, I'm like,
Right.
it's nice to have variety.
I
There's
feel you.
nothing wrong with having that. Like Bungie gave us 3 slots. Why not just fill it up
Oh yeah.
and then like see what you can work with? You know,
This
like
man don't want to pick between his kids.
No. Well, honestly, I will say though, in the world of like PvE help though,
yeah,
hunters like sometimes when I play, sometimes I feel squishy. But the invisibility, especially as you're sherping, somebody
Yeah.
dies, you need to go res them. The invisibility for you is probably
Mhm.
huge. Like to use that one
Yeah.
actually a lot. I mean, I can imagine all of them are helpful, but the invisibility for reses alone, because I've been carried to a couple GMs and been part of that journey, and just
Yeah.
that one clutch piece is big.
Oh,
So
it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. Salute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That and Ursa Titans too, man.
mm,
Ursa Titans are
Mm.
pretty insane. You're taking a lot of damage. You're gonna get a lot of your super back, and you can
Mhm.
just move somewhere. Like if you have to move your whole fire team, people just move behind you. So like,
Yep.
yeah, a lot of people call that boring. I was like, nah, you got to survive, right? You're in a situation where everything hits hard. How are you
Mhm.
going to survive?
Facts.
You know?
put up a
Facts.
giant shield.
Put up a shield,
Yep.
brother.
Captain America times 20. Go.
Exactly. Respect. You gotta respect it. He's like, I play all of them evenly, and you take advantage of whatever. Like I said, if the content is hard and you notice that one particular class really excels at
Yeah.
beating content, then why not? Me, I'm just a selfish warlock. Man. I'm just
Yeah.
that's what it is. I ain't got time for all this extra characters. So salute to y'all though. Salute to y'all. I just can't. I don't know how y'all do it. I give y'all a lot of credit though, because to run multiple classes, but I will say there is an ease of use once you do have all 3 ready.
Yeah.
Especially when you get the first one done, and everything else is kind of easier, and it kind of
Yeah.
drops and other stuff like that. So salute to y'all for that.
Who do you think you'll take into Vogue first?
Ooh.
I mean, looking at the team concept, I'm probably going to be on my Titan.
Mm.
Just
Yeah.
by it. And yours like, that's just the 6 you're running with. So
Yeah.
are you going for day 1 race? Like be part of it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. So what else we got, E?
Well, I'd say we got a whole bunch of stuff to talk
Yeah, we
about.
got stuff to talk about, bro.
So high level piece, like, because I was actually calling it last week. Because first they used to do like snippet teasers. They had like 20 seconds, like tune in tomorrow or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was at work in the morning, like, all right, what are we gonna see? Probably gonna cover a little bit. I'm at work, like dying on the inside because at like 9 o'clock my time, they dropped it all. I was like, oh,
man.
come
Something.
on.
Yeah, they put everything
On
on.
your phone though, sir. I got to give you credit for the phone. You were screenshotting.
I screenshotted. I put as much as I could. I was like, all right, big Twitter thread. Here we go. Like, this is as much as I can do from work in between stuff that I was doing. So it wasn't bad. But no, trailer dropped, got a lot of information. High level, what are you guys excited about the most?
Let's get it, EK.
And then we'll go through some details. But
the trailer. What was the vibes? What was the vibes when you saw it?
I mean, they got a lot coming. That 6-man activity is pretty dope. I guess I can't really talk about it much because I got to play, but like it's
nice.
pretty freaking neat.
Exclusive.
Like
got that community summit Google state.
Yeah, like it's pretty fun. My only worry is like how long is that gonna be fun for people, right? Once you get like your roles and what you need, that's one of the issues in Destiny. Like Sundial Menagerie, all of it was fun, right?
For
but
a while.
to a certain extent, right? For a while.
Right.
And then they have like the pinnacle mission is what I'm like very interested in because apparently it's gonna be like different things that we have never done before, right? Like we're supposed to be like a splicer going into a network trying to break into a network, right? So that's gonna be different. That's what I'm like looking forward to. I know the VOG's there, but I play the OG. I felt like
I feel you.
I'm gonna look forward to it, but that's not what I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you, Cog? What's the top shout out?
Listen, man. The thing for me is, again, before we get into anything, shout
Yeah.
out to Budgie on these trailers, man.
Well, of
Marketing,
course, they cannot
like
lever. This
marketing,
team has so much
bro.
leverage. Like they can never get fired.
They could
They're
never
too
get fired.
good.
Like Destiny could be dead and buried. And the marketing team would drop a trailer. You'd be like, "Oh, hold on, I'm coming back." Like Destiny's marketing team, yo, it's something about the music selection, just the way they hype it, the whole process, the way they put together. No one does a trailer like Budgie. So salute to them.
Yeah.
I was watching it. I wanted to see what the focus was. Obviously, the leak was season of the Splicer. I did want to see, if there was Siva aspects, but obviously there's not. But good to see Mithrax back in the mix. We got baby falling.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Little baby falling. You know what I'm saying? Smalling. Shout out to my boy.
Smallin. I got Elixni kittens or Elixnittens or something like that. I've seen
Yeah.
Smallin. Oh
Mhm.
man, so many.
So it was cool. Gotta the Warlock delegation. We have to have a talk though. Looks like Gina Torres got replaced. So I'm mixed because part of me really did like her voice acting, but
Yep.
at the same time, I do feel for Bungie that you need someone that's consistent. You know what I mean? So I don't know if her schedule just didn't work out.
I feel like she's probably just busy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah.
what I figured. That's what I figured.
With
So
big names like that, yeah.
Yeah. And they've lost just about everybody but Zavala. Like
but Zavala,
Lance Reddick is the one they're like, well, we can't actually lose Zavala. Nobody can replace him. I will say, like, when we were watching this trailer, I did like frame by frame, pulled up the clip from, say, like her and Eris talking. And there were like distinctions of like she had a little bit more rasp, a little bit lower register. Her cadence was slightly different. But I will give credit to, I don't know the actress's replacement. Like she did what, like if I listened close, I could pick it. But I was like, that's pretty damn good. I was impressed to be like, okay, I can roll with that. That's close enough.
I agree. I felt like at first I didn't catch it, and then people were like, "Yo, that's not her." And I'm like, "Okay," but like I said, I'm always pro, someone who can be consistent, who's schedule wise, it can do the job. So I'm for that. So that was that. Obviously, 6-man activity huge for me, because I'm a fan of Sundial, I'm a fan of Menagerie, and to me, nothing's worse than Destiny when you got a whole bunch of people on, and it's like, all right, we got to break up the team, y'all. You got to go over here because it's just 3
Yeah.
men, you know what I mean? And not everybody does raid, and let's be honest, in the state of PvP, not everybody doing banner these days. So it's
Yeah.
cool to have a 6, player PvE. Vogue is my heart, so I seen that. Facts, all the good stuff, that all the nostalgia. I am what EK said. I'm curious though what these pinnacle missions are. That is a very interesting thing. I want to see how they approach it. But yeah, overall, man, I was excited. And then narratively, I just want to see how they put the transition now from Season of the Chosen into Season of the Splicer. What happens with the whole Kaido thing? What happens with Crow? And how they transition. And then shout out to finally, Osiris and Ikora having dialogue since all this craziness has been going on. So yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It's a lot to look forward to, and curious about E. Like what you thought. What was the vibes? Why you at work on the phone going crazy?
I mean, like they started it pretty great. Like Vex might have been a speculation. It was like Splicer was in there. I was like kind of curious how that was going to play together. It's cool to see Mithrax back. He's been Mylan Games was actually on DCP, and he's been talking about he was basically just an Easter egg in a mission on the moon. Like if you didn't kill him or not, you had that little different ending, and then he helped us in 0 Hour, and it's been this fallen Kel, like Splicer guy, Sacred Splicer, we now know now, slowly building in the background and actually see us working with the Fallen, us working with the Cabal. I mean, the whole idea of like, kind of the Avengers coming together to face whatever Witch Queen could bring seems like it's now actually getting to be a bit more potential if, the Splicer technology can take some of the Vex technology and help us fight whatever's coming. Like the idea behind all of this coming together seems really cool. So that piece was really cool. I don't know. I'm very curious. We were joking in my chat, like if they just put like the Earth in a dome, how it's all nighttime the whole time, just like how it's actually whatever they said, a Vex simulation. And I'm wondering, so it is a simulation of nighttime and the Earth is just in a dome, sunlight, moon on both sides. We're seeing either. So I'm wondering how they actually kind of explain that if they do. But the one for me and my big speculation, I'll get to it a little bit later. I'm with EK. The mission. For me, the Pinnacle mission, an exotic Pinnacle mission, may have an exotic in there. It would be a proper place for them to probably put it. That's what I'm most excited about. 6-man activities, I'm with both of you guys. We're like, they're cool, they're fun, but also he's like, 7 weeks in, as we have a 3.5-month season this time. We'll get to the length of the season later. After a while, like anything, you're like, yeah, I've done my 100th.
True.
It's cool. Like I got the feel. We're gonna have it on 3 planets. We got 15, 16 weeks to a season. It's just gonna be in the rotation. But as there are 6, they specifically list it 6 times. So it's either
Yeah.
6
With
weeks
different
of
pictures too.
right. So is it like 6 different variations, 6 different story, beats that go along with it? And what I wanted to ask you guys, I guess I'll just jump in now because this has been my speculation since I did my video when I got home.
Let's go.
The timing of when it starts. Now, part of me wants to like second guess myself of the way they list Vault of Glass in the TWAB as a legend activity.
Mhm.
But if there's any story implication to Vault of Glass and this mission, because Vault of Glass comes on Saturday and this starts the following reset. So in theory, like in chronological terms, we'll beat the raid, we'll beat Atheon, supposedly. But the thing, they show screenshots of like 3 guys running into what looks like this mission. And the emblem on the chest, the look of like the points and everything, it looks like a weird variation or something very close to Atheon. I've never seen like the symbol on Atheon's chest is the exact same one in that mission. So I'm wondering if we're like going into the next Vex network, like chasing him between different things. Like if Vault of Glass kicks off this mission, that would be cool. Now, getting my expectations too high, of course I shouldn't do it. But timing-wise, I'm still wondering if there is some implication of Vault of Glass into this mission. And if so, that's actually pretty cool. But I don't have a clue. But like timing-wise, it has me wondering why it starts 2 weeks later, why it starts after the raid, and why this guy in this 3-person mission looks like Atheon's chest. So
Yeah. Any thoughts, EK?
I feel like right now what they're doing with the story, like they're aligning everything pretty well. Even with like Mithrax coming in, I mean, the tower is going to be fun for people when they get there next season. But like, there's just so many different things that they're putting in, and I feel like what you just said might be true. We might be being Vault of Glass, and then it lines up. But then, perfect example, Glassway. A lot of people said last season that we're going to VOG this season because Glassway, the portal there is how we're going to get into the Vault of Glass. Because if you switch it around, it's the way to the Vault of Glass instead of Glassway. So everyone's like, putting that together. So now you're saying like, this mission is going to come out after we beat it. That might be true as well. There's so many like things that Bungie just puts in and sets in stone, and then people are like, wait, what about this? What about that? Like theory crafting, like whoever makes their stories and their lore is just insane because you just go through so many like rabbit holes. Like you don't know what's coming up. Yeah. Like Bife eats that, like he eats that stuff up, man.
Bife and Mylan both are they can dive deep in the rabbit holes, but it's cool for them to have both of their knowledge of it to say, hey, where the so it was like I was listening to him and he talked about I forgot about the Moon Easter egg with Mithrax and like bringing him full circle all the way around is really cool to see come in. But yeah, the exotic missions have lately been my favorite. I don't do as many raids, Grandmasters. I do. Obviously, nobody does this as much as you, I don't think, with 2,200 under your belt. But no, the exotic missions are still my favorite between the story and everything they do in there. And if there's like 6 parts to this thing, that's probably where I'm definitely excited about.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah. Portage was really nice. I felt like we were gonna get something like that the previous season because I was talking to Bife. He's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Look at the Hunter Gauntlets from this season." He was like, "What? What Hunter Gauntlets?" And then we started talking about it. Like on stream, I was like, "What the hell are you guys talking about?" I was like, "Don't worry about it." You're like, "Yo, they like they're taking Scorn up on like Callus's ship. Like we don't know what the hell's going on." But it's cool that this season, when you open up the last compartment, they have the Crown of Sorrows boss helmet in there, and that's what like control the Scorn. But like I didn't even know that was even in the lore. So there's so many like hidden things that like when you just lines up, they'll put like little hints here and there, and you'll never pay attention unless like looking at the gear. So now every season I'm like looking at like lore and gear, like what does this say? Like what does that say? Like you just never know
what little nugget's gonna be like. Oh, what's this say? And I remember exactly because I was actually talking with my chat, and they're like, "Hey, go look at the Hunter arms, the gauntlets, and
Right.
go read it, and it says, Callus is doing, and because it's got the full lore paragraph on some of those now, and it's the one line saying like Callus is doing like going around sucking up all the scorn, and I was like, holy, and then you guys were dead on. So yeah, the way they do some of the lore and building is crazy, and just to keep it all straight, more power to the big lore people.
Narrative team's been on fire with that stuff lately.
Yeah, the story's been really good. That's what has me excited for the rest of this whole decade.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we got, the Vex basically plunged the last city into an endless night. We got Mithrax coming in. He's the sacred splicer. He can actually, combat Vextology technology because he's got some bond with light. He's got some understanding of X technology. He's a surprising fallen ally. And speaking of that, we're gonna have some fallen hanging out in the helm. So we actually get an upgrade to the helm. We get to go down, in the basement a little bit, hang out with what looks like a servitor hanging from the rafters, and it feels like we've got another hammer of proving coming, because you're gonna have ether to charge up this like splicer gauntlet. Same way you have Cabal Gold to charge up the hammer. You're going to have different things that you can do with the gauntlet. It's probably going to be like leveling up the Splicer gauntlet at the servitor. So I wanted to ask you guys if it is really similar to the hammer. It sounds almost to a T, but maybe not exactly the same. Are you ready for one of those bad back-to-back seasons, or is that going to be a bit of a like kind of unnecessary grind? I wanted to see your guys' thoughts about that.
What you think, EK?
I mean, that was like my initial thought when they first introduced that, right?
Yeah.
But they made it a little bit different than what we have the previous season, because I remember complaining about having to go charge, then going and doing activity, then getting something, then going back to the helm to even like turn that in, and then like having the helm be part of the tower. Like, I mean, matter of fact, they also moved the node out of the tower to its own thing now. So like, it seems like they're taking feedback and trying to work on it.
Yeah.
But some of it, I feel like some of it was already put into place before we even get to give feedback.
Right.
So I'm hoping that the next season is a little bit different.
Yep.
But yeah, the whole like falling in the in the helm stuff, like there's gonna be memes, man. Like even at the tower, like there's gonna be memes. But
I
it's
didn't even
so
think
cool.
about like emoting with a fallen guy or something like that. Oh, that's gonna be bad.
Your backs, yeah. You right.
There was one I was laughing at hard, and I feel like people were gonna find that the first day, like, yo, like. But I mean, it's cool that we're finally working with the fallen, who were like, people that like the traveler kind of left behind. There's a lot of mess going on now too, because people were talking about like maybe the travelers might leave us because we went with the fallen or something like that, and so on. And that's why like Lightfall might happen. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like people are thinking way too far. I'm trying to look for like lore and gear that says anything about Witch Queen, but not really like Lightfall. Lightfall is like all the way back there.
Yeah, that's real far. That's 2023. It's gonna be a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just cool to see the helm get upgraded. Cog?
Yeah. No, I like it, man. I like it. I mean, it seemed to me the vibe I'm getting is the helm, depending on how far they go out with the seasons, that might be the seasonal activity spot as far as like where you congregate to do things. The only thing is, I agree with you, Kay. Like, I don't know if I necessarily want every season to follow that structure of like how the hammer went. You know what I mean? So I'm curious to see how they handle that. I do like the idea narratively of them in a spot like a base of operations. Okay, this is the new threat. This is what's going on. That kind of thing. I do like that. The arm look cool. The little. Somebody had a little V. It was
Splicer
like
gauntlet?
somebody had like a V of a Nintendo Power Glove.
yeah.
I was dying. That was hilarious.
Yeah,
bro.
that's the fitting one for
Matter of
sure.
fact, it was Blackburn. It was Blackburn. I think that did it. He had retweeted it. Yeah. So it's just salute to them. I'm curious with the whole Vex, involvement and stuff like that. And obviously hacking the network and the override thing. So yeah, my whole thing is I want them to continue the narrative beats that they did, like with Season of the Chosen, where you go in there and you getting. I want them to continue that multiple voice acted thing. I like when you go in there, Salon says this, or Osiris says this, and Zavala says this, because to me it made the world feel alive. Like I like that feeling, like there's a universe going on and people connected. And the other thing is, definitely Crow. I want to know what's going on. I don't want them to just completely go away from him I want to know what he's doing during this period.
I was
You
like,
know what
that's honestly my worry right now, is
I'm saying?
because the closing ceremony had nothing. If you guys haven't seen Paul Tassi's 20-second video, it's hilarious.
Mhm.
But it feels like this season, unless they do some cinematic of if they don't tie this thing up at all,
Right.
if it's just like week 7, okay, we had the thing, here's your dagger, Scion ran off, and then we
Right.
just start the next season.
Preach.
Crow sitting somewhere with like nothing
Yes.
to do, and then you've got Keitel, an ally for the next 3.5 months, but we're not gonna have any actual interaction. That's always like the weird pieces, and I know it's hard for them too, as they're like, okay, we need to tell the Icor and the Vex story to build up this piece. But if there's no connection to the other, they do feel like they're trying to build some blocks, but man, they are
Yes.
not connected sometimes. And it's like, I'm with you. It's like I'd like to see
I need a transition. Yeah,
something.
whether it be like I said, end of the season, I mean, right before the recess, something needs to happen, in my opinion, to transition it. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. But other than that, yeah, that looks cool. The helmet upgrade and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, we need to see some kind of cutscene. But I would say this is like the first time, even in Destiny history, that we like see allies actually like moving into like places that we're at. Like it's the first time you're like, wait a minute, this is not an enemy. This is like an ally that's like in our helm spot right now. Like
Yes.
even with the Cabal this season, we didn't really have Cabal like here. We went to their spot.
Right.
Like so it's gonna be weird.
Good.
I don't even know if like because the Traveler like changes sometimes, right? I wonder if like anything's gonna happen to the Traveler as well. And I'm thinking about that.
Whole again, what is it? They blocked out the sun. Like what is the Vex doing?
The simulation putting us in an in endless lit by like moonlight, something like that. I'm not reading it right now, but yeah, it's this weird simulation where we're only covered in moonlight.
Right.
So the sun won't rise, is what Ikora says at one point, I think. So no,
I
it's
was gonna say the last part I was gonna say was what you said, E, which is the coolest part, I think, is aligning with these races that we've been enemies with for so long.
Yeah.
Right. So it is, if they do it right, but you don't mess this up. If y'all do this right, we could have some Avengers type moments, bro. Like again, like with Cabal and the Fallen and stuff like that. I'm very curious, man, to see where this is going, because there's a lot of loose threads that they got potential to connect into like a really cool story.
Well, keeping us occupied, we talked about Override. That's the 6-player match-made activity. It says fire teams of 6 will use Splicer tech to hack the Vex network, uncover their secrets, steal their code, and use their powers against them. We're going to have that on Europa, the Tangled Shore, and the Moon. Seems like the 3 locations over the first 3 weeks we're going to get that one. That one seems, because you can see it on the patrol zones. Basically, you'll see like different pictures of where it's on Tangled Shore. You can see where it's on the Moon. And then it also shows them very much inside the Vex network as well, in this little, like, looks like Tron blocky. That's all I keep hearing everybody talk about, so I can't not say it.
Yeah.
So it's just like, so it feels like we're gonna unlock the network outside, which location's on, and then potentially go inside the network, because there's like the team of 6 people running through the Tron area. So it feels like we start on the outside, go on the inside, do some activity, which I think should be fun, because getting 6 people together, I don't expect raid level mechanics, but it definitely should be more, as long as it's not like corrupted mechanics that people just can't pick up.
Right.
For some reason, the balls are a bit of a struggle.
He got that NDA though, so we got to protect.
Oh no, I know, I get it. I got you. He's just over there like.
Over there,
I think it'll be something that like a lot of people pick up on quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like yeah.
Okay. No doubt. No doubt.
But yeah, those are. I mean, so it's been 5. It'll be a 5th season since, because the last one was Sundial, which was Dawn.
It's a long time since we've had a 6-player.
And then Menagerie. So I mean, you had 2, and then you had like every other season, and then we went. This is the 5 seasons away. So it's a chunk. So I mean, people have been waiting for a while, and I feel like they're kind of coming into a little more consistency in what they can deliver, because now we got a 6-player match made. We had the exotic missions or Pinnacle now. Those are becoming a little more consistent because they've now announced this one beforehand. It's not like a secret that they're hiding, which I don't know if I love, because I was like the reveal the first day, like Destiny Twitter just explodes me like, there's a new mission. Like those moments are always really cool. So it's kind of weird that they would announce it, which is why I always find that one a bit strange. But we talked about the mission. That one is going to start on week 3. Then 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are the ones they listed on. I don't imagine it's going to actually go away, but it is apparently 6 weeks at least listed on the calendar that we've got. So we'll have to see what's going on there. And then they did it. VOG went free. I was like, we were literally talking about this last episode. I was kind of curious when you saw that it was free, what you thought, sir.
Man, listen, this is obviously I'm biased, but this is the crown jewel. So, for reprise content, I was curious to see how they was going to handle it, right? I was going to see like, okay, are they going to treat this like a pinnacle activity where this is a premium thing and you have to be a part of the season? And I think this is smart. I think you want everybody to play this activity. You want people invested. Again, I'm on console, Xbox primarily, to have people say, hey, I didn't have to buy the season and I can do this and I can jump in the VOG. And this is, let's be honest, like this is their premier thing. I know for the hardcore, for the vets, we like, yeah, been there, done that. But this is the premier thing for a lot of people, especially people who've went away from Destiny. You're going to get a lot of people that's going to like, yo, you know what I mean? VOG is back. All right, I'll try it. I don't have to pay. I'm in, kind of thing. So, yeah, I think it's smart. I think it get the most people in this activity. They handle it really good. Free to play is a great idea. And then I'm also hype about the engagement with Worlds First because they did a real good job with the Saturday date with Deepstone. Yep. I thought that was smart. Stick with that. Now you free to play. They could get some record engagement, man. I'm very curious to see how many teams and the clears and all that stuff. What you think, EK? Like, how do you think it was a good move?
I mean, I felt like it was a good move because here's the thing. It was something that we pay for in Destiny 1, but that's if you play Destiny 1, right? But it's new content for Destiny 2 players. But at the same time, you can't really charge someone to play the same thing that they already paid for in a previous thing. Is it cool to play on like, the next gen or even on PC? Hell yeah. But there was no way they were going to be able to like resell that to the community. Like, we're selling you this as new content.
Old content.
Yeah. There was no way.
Good point.
Like, yeah, even if they bring back Wrath or King's Fall or Crota, whatever it is, you can't sell that to people. Because a majority of the players are veterans that play Destiny 1. So like you trying to sell that back would be like a spit in the face, you know what I mean? Especially when like there's a seasonal model with new stuff coming in all the time. That could be paid for, like the 6-minute activity, this pinnacle mission, all these new exotics. That's I mean, like it sells itself, like they make some cool exotics. Like like the thought concepts behind them are just insane. Even like Dead Man Cells is like whoa, like this gun is fun. It's like, wait, why does this gun feel different? Like the first time I got it, I was like, what, this scout? Okay, it feels weird, and then you get the Galaxy, like, whoa,
yes,
this gun is good. So it still blows my mind every time when they come out of the concept for a weapon or even the Presage mission.
Yep.
I was sick of like, grabbing the ball and charging it or sitting on a plate. This one had like, you shooting spores and going through stuff. Like, bro, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to come up with new concept for a game that's been out for so long.
Yeah. Good point.
And then a lot of people sit there, they're mad all the time. Give us new content. I was like, have you thought of an idea of what to actually give us?
Yeah.
Like
talk to him.
Talk
to him. A lot of armchair developers. Talk to him.
People talk about, I don't want to do modes anymore. I don't want to do, charging the ball anymore. But like, what are you gonna make?
Good point.
It's not that simple. Every game has mechanics,
No, you're on fire, brother. I think that is a fantastic point because that was something I always thought about. Like just working for the studio, and you've got this ravenous fan base that always wants something new, and they eat up the content fast, right? So you not only do you have to create new stuff all the time, but because the consumer consumes it so fast, you've got to be quick. So it's a tough boat to be. That's why I don't really go crazy anymore. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to he calmed me down. You know what I'm saying, over the years. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but at the end of the day, that's a great point. For them to keep continually. For what is it, 6 years? How long have we been doing this? Like, this is a long time for Destiny, continually to come up with new stuff all the time, new mechanics, lore missions, presage, all these things we talk about, 0 hour, all these great things that we kind of get spoiled with how good they are. I
Oh,
feel.
I mean,
I
they're
don't
the
think
one gladiator sitting left in the ring after all the Destiny killers came
all the
calling.
killers. All the killers is dead
Yeah,
now.
I was like, yeah, none of them have survived, and Destiny is still trucking, building a 2.5 times bigger studio and staff and everything else that they're doing with this franchise alone that they bought themselves out from Activision.
Mhm.
Now there are decisions when it comes to like transmog.
Yeah.
You can have your thoughts either way on that one. We expressed our opinions with Travis the other day, like when we were on, we just went absolutely off on it, and that's one of those decisions where you're like, I understand there's business besides it, but also some of the veterans you feel kind of screwed. So like there are times where you get the give and take. I understand it's a business, but it's like they deserve a lot of credit for what they do manage to put out on such a basis that's like what you get for $10
Yeah.
every 3 months. No one else is doing that. Like even World of Warcraft, they might do a big ass expansion, but it would be like when they would do an expansion, it's like 2 years. And we still
Mhm.
get a decent sized expansion 1 year, seasons every 3 months or four, whatever this cadence is going to be for the delay. But we get a fair chunk out of a studio that's, now doing its own thing completely independently. So no, I completely agree. It's like they deserve some credit. Nobody's perfect because yeah, we'll definitely call them when they're, making bad decisions, and the community summits, secret people get to go to, hopefully get to be like, all
Mhm.
right, so got some opinions here, and there's going to be a little give and take in those, hopefully. Because I mean, I heard long ago, I think when we started the podcast, it was near one of the early ones around Curse of Osiris, and it's like there was some things you heard that like, hey, they pitched this idea and they turned around and changed it the next day. Like sometimes the feedback is good, but on the other side, sometimes it's you know, sometimes the gamers don't know what they want until the developer gives it to them,
Point.
which is like, hey, and that's like, Super Mario and anything else. Like that's been going on for a while. But then there's sometimes it's like, yeah, you got this wrong. So it's always interesting to watch the journey. But Destiny's the only one that's got the longevity versus anything else. And it's a good thing to actually be part of it. And that's why we were talking about Vault of Glass being free. Just this is one of those like perfect. There is no free raid. And I think this also kind of tells how Vault of Glass is going to be.
Mhm.
Vault of Glass as their first raid is not like Last Wish. There's no Penumbral Entumbra. There's no crazy vault mechanics. You're not like, so it's not going to be to the crazy mechanic level. But if it's like, new guys first raid,
Mhm.
and it's their chance to understand the mechanics, have some, Destiny 2,
Mhm.
paint on it, and let somebody get in
Mhm.
without, because they said they're going to kind of embrace most of the theme of it with giving you, get some new Destiny 2 polish. I think
Mhm.
it's going to be a great way for new players to understand not like if you take someone to the Last Wish for the first time, that's a little much.
Just did that. Oh God. I just did that. I took Rand out though. Shout out to Rand though. He listening. I just took him. That was pain. Cause like just you got to teach them the kid. I just
Yeah.
want to interrupt one part, E, because you on fire. Also the fact that the no light requirement, right? Because 1300, they're right in. And to
Yeah.
me, it's very significant because I almost quit Destiny if it wasn't for Vault. If it wasn't for Vault of Glass, I would have quit because my friends was like, yo, you got to get to level 30. And I'm like, I already end this game. I don't know what y'all talking about. Like, I was kind of done, right? And then as the story goes, like when I got there and I'm like, okay, I was of level to do it. And think about that percentage of people who gave up on Destiny, never experienced it. You know what I'm saying? Regardless how people feel about Vault being the best raid or not, that's opinion. But we can't deny the significance of when people found it and like, yo, they got something. This is special. So why I love is that there's going to be no light requirement for the new guy, so to speak, right?
I mean, yeah,
Who may
1300's not bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
1300. He could get in and he could at least try the thing that they may have missed out on with D1. So that's the part I'm really excited about.
EK, any thoughts about VOG? Or are you just like kind of ready to kick its butt again? How do you think they're going
Yeah.
to change that? I guess is the best question because you're probably the most recently versed on it if you've done any D1 playing and stuff like that. How do you think they'll actually make like changes to it? Champions?
I
Do you
was,
expect the Wyvern? Like anything crazy? Pretty close? Where do you go?
I'm thinking more than likely champions.
Mhm.
Maybe the maze might be different.
Okay.
Uh, Templar encounter, you might have to be down there when you're doing oracles and stuff like that.
Mhm.
You know, it might be like joining allies if you try to chill up top.
Yep.
Um, yeah, and that's the thing too. They might add in like some extra like little loopers, right?
Mhm.
Extra enemies coming out somewhere. there's definitely going to be something because we had champions in raids before.
Yeah.
GOS was probably one of the first ones that had it. So we'll definitely see how bad it is. They might not make it too hard just because I know they're doing the whole challenge thing. Once you beat it, then there's another thing to do. So we'll see. We'll see what the challenges are going to be. But I don't really see them changing too much. Everyone's like, maybe the harpies are going to become wyverns. Who knows?
That'd be
You know?
spicy.
Spicy.
But yeah, you did say it though. Like May 22nd it launches. June 15th they have the raid challenges, which I guess is going to be what the raid race has. Is my assumption of how that's going to be.
Yeah.
And then July 6th they have the difficulty options, which is probably the longest. It's been years since we've had raid difficulties, and they're bringing, I guess, a raid master coming in.
Yes.
Do you guys see anything like adept Vogue weapons, or how do you guys see the rewards going for? Because if somebody's going to make me say, hey, I can go run Vogue, or I can go run Master Vogue, why am I going to go run Master? What do you guys think they're going to go reward-wise when it comes to the top dog of, raids now?
I think they spoke about that though. They spoke about going into activities and having massive version of them. Same thing for dungeons.
Yep.
And possibly having like not just adept weapons of adept armor as well. It was in TWAB maybe like a month ago when they were talking about that.
Right.
So, if that thing is coming out a lot later, maybe that's what they're setting up.
Yeah, could be. I would assume so. I just love that they're going back to that. I always felt D1 had that advantage with the raids, with the challenges, because you just extend more life in the content. And I always feel raid is some of the best content. So when they bring these challenges back, and then with the world first, isn't there like these secret parameters that you have to?
Yeah, that's like a set of challenges per activity. If you fail it, you wipe. Like the way I guess you have to beat the raid once on contest, and then you'll go back in on challenge mode, which is probably contest plus to have to do it certain ways.
Right.
So it seems like you're gonna have to at least go through twice minimum,
Yeah.
which will be interesting. So I'll be very curious. I won't be trying to win the race, but I think Cog and I might have to jump in at least try and beat it once at least. See how that one goes. But yeah, honestly, I don't really usually talk about the rewards, but I gotta ask Cog, are you gonna buy this ring?
Yo, that's me. Actually, I don't even care about the jacket. I'm gonna tell you a secret. I don't even care about the jacket. I don't like the jacket. I don't like the arms on the jacket.
I actually kind of like it because it's clean black on the outside. The arms aren't too much, but the inside looks awesome. The inside of the jacket looks.
The inside is fire. I just don't like the loose, poofy arms. I want like some type of.
Do you want like the elastic, bomber jacket sleeve? Is that what you want?
Something to hold on to. I don't like the loose. Oh, I don't know. It's just me. But anyway, the ring. I was like, I got to get that ring, fam. Got that. Like I'm a Vogue hardcore fan. I have to have life is not complete till I get that ring. So I'm in there day one, whatever I got to do to get raid stringers. Yes, there you go. Raid stringers, I rotate. I feel you. Like I need something, man. Make those arms a little tighter. But I'm not, man. Yeah, I'm definitely doing that. That's a goal all day, every day.
Yeah, I saw the design on the outside with like the Atheon kind of like shape and like the weird, probably little like light vest in the middle. I was like, if Cog doesn't get this, I'm gonna be full. This is you written on. You are Vogue. If anything has Vogue, like you have to order the jacket. I mean, you got to go full Vogue, but I'm
thinking about it. To be real with you though, I was hoping for a shirt. I wanted like a
but I have more T-shirts because I'll wear them. I'm with you on that one.
I wanted a shirt, you know what I mean? But that ring will do. That ring will do.
You're gonna be up to Guardian Con and be like, blink.
You know what I'm saying? Pull up. You know what I'm saying?
So of course they got armor synth. We'll blow past that. We've talked about that plenty. We probably all have. I will say the look of the loom. They did a really cool job taking something visually to be like, yeah, this actually looks like a synthetic, crazy exo loom. It looks kind of. I mean, if you turned all those strings to red, it would look like Siva, but for white, it looks like a loom. So they did a cool look for her area. Before we get to weapons, though, and some of the other stuff that's coming, I wanted to actually ask you guys, because I saw one thing cool they did for free people. The 6-player match-made activity, now they have a week to try it. The free trial on Override. They've never done anything like that, to my knowledge, correct?
think that's new. I don't
Yeah,
usually.
it's
Yeah.
probably new.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought that was a cool thing because you get Larade, you get the armor synthesis, you get the basic stuff that's free, but it's like, hey, here's this 6-person thing. You get a
Mhm.
week to try it and see if you like it. Do you get the weekly pinnacle mission? No, because you got to pay for them to build that. But, you know, the
Right.
patrol activity that's a little less resource intensive,
Mhm.
free trial. I thought that was actually just a cool touch that they did.
I agree. I agree.
Okay, so let's talk weapons and exotic armor.
Mm.
EK, what stands out to you for like what's one of the first things you want to try that you know is coming?
Hmm. I don't know. There's a lot of weapons coming. I kind of want to see what the new perks are, like what the new perk combos are going to be. 'Cause every
So,
season, there's like new perks that come in, and they're pretty awesome.
mhm.
And then like the depth weapons coming in, I saw the scout, the sniper,
Mhm.
and then the fusion, right? So like
Mhm.
I I want to know what they put on those things. Like what can we like roll on that? Because
Uh,
the depth mods that they put out have been pretty insane. Like the depth big ones, all those mods are like game changing, right? So then I wonder if we're gonna have like maybe shoot to loot on that, like that online sniper. I just want to
Mm,
know what can come in that can change the game a little bit because every season they'll put in perks and people like don't really pay attention to them.
mhm.
Like Left from Gold is like one of those perks I'm like, especially last season when we had Spoils of War, I
Yeah.
always had special ammo. I never had run finder.
Mhm.
Whenever I found heavy, I had special, right? So it was like the best thing in the world.
Mhm.
And they put in more perks like that that people like slowly don't pay attention to. Like, wait a minute, why using that? Why using that perk? And all of a sudden, oh, that's why using that perk. That's
Mhm.
crazy. So I hope that they do that more. And I like the look of the weapons, man. It reminds me
Yeah.
of like the whole Sundown stuff too. Like
Yes.
Sundown weapons were completely different.
Woo!
The whole Scene 14 thing, and then like even the Warmind weapons had like this
Yeah.
Warmind feel to them. So like
Mhm.
them bringing the Splicer thing in, and then like having the gear
Yeah.
looking fallen thing, and then the weapons look like that too. I love that, man. And I
Bro.
know people always talk about reskins, but those things are not reskins. Those are like
no.
brand new. Like, and
Facts.
it's hard to do that in most games. Like any game you play, most of the time, the gun is going to be a reskin. I don't think anyone can like name a game that like, oh, this is a brand new gun from like out of nowhere. Nah, man, it's not that easy to design a gun and make it
Mhm.
look completely different from someone else.
Yeah.
You know?
And they consistently do it. And it's a good point because a lot of these kind of I remember like I said, Season of Dawn and how
Yeah.
fire those look. You know what I mean? And the aesthetic. And these are in that same bag. And I ain't gonna lie, I was happy to see that hung jury though. That hung
Yeah.
jury, I was like, oh, that's a sight for sore eyes right there. I used to in that what is it, the Omeron what you call it?
It's
Sniper?
the
Yeah.
Irene R. Is it the Irene RR4? Is that the one?
Everyone's saying it's the Uzumaki. I don't
Oh, the
know.
yeah, Uzume or whatever. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Because the thing is, when you
I
look
missed
at
the
both of
Irene
them,
one.
the site is different on the Uzumaki and the Irene right now. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Bungie will confirm it, but
Yeah. I actually
Mhm.
I really always enjoyed the Amalon snipers, and I'm probably odd man out because they actually have very, very low aim assist if they stick to how they used to be. But
mhm.
I always, for some reason, really enjoyed how it felt when I hit those shots between the sound effect of like the Amalon weapon on a
Woo!
sniper and just
Oh,
like if it was low aim assist and I hit it, I was like, I'm not great at sniping, but at least I know I actually hit that one. So it was like something about the Amalon sniper. Now, my question about Hung Jury,
let's go.
everybody's hyping it up. Scouts aren't in the best spot right now, depending on like what perks
Aim
and
assist
stuff
buff.
on.
Aim assist buff.
I mean, that's a whole thing. But scouts serve purposes if they need to be like champion killers and stuff like that. You can use them. Theoretically, it could have some fun perks, which is what could set it apart, being adept maybe. But again, we have seen decent amount of the sandbox stuff, and scouts aren't getting touched, and they still overall. I don't love them in PvP or PvE generally. Um, I don't know. I know it was a great in PvP or PvE before in D1. Absolutely used that thing for way too many years. But I was like, I don't know if it's going to hit quite the same way because of where scouts are right now. That's just the one. Like, just save your guys' expectations. Is all I'm trying to say. It may not quite get there. It's just my only worry. So
I mean, I'm with EK though. I think the key is going to be because we know they're doing new perks.
Yeah.
And I'm really in the sense of perk combinations.
Right.
Even if scouts stay where they are, if they could get some new perks and new perk combinations that you can fuse with that you can get on these weapons, then that might set it apart with a different play style. But I'm with you. I know what the expectation of which scouts are. What's that fusion though? I'm curious.
I've heard it called a couple different things, like 77 Wizard. I don't even know if that's.
No, it's the plug one.
Oh.
I thought it was the Light Beware, and then someone went and like got me like a picture of the plug, and I was like, okay, cool. So it's not the Light Beware; it's actually the plug one. Yeah. But even going back with the hung jury, I think the hung jury is going to be a lightweight scout. Lightweight scouts actually feel really nice, especially Amalon ones.
Yes.
Because here's the thing, Menenin was also an Amalon scout rifle, and that thing shredded. Menenin was really strong, and for some reason I thought they were going to bring it back. They never brought it back, or even the future walk-on one. I thought that was going to come back. That never got brought back. So if they bring back hung jury, especially as a lightweight Amalon, that thing is going to shred.
Now the lightweights, those are the 200s or 260s. Correct me, EK. I forget which one of those.
I think they're 200s.
200s feel nice because that's like Night Watch, right? That's
yeah. Night Watch is a lightweight as well.
Okay.
One of the scouts that felt really good that got sunset was the Sundial one. That thing was insane. Patreon log cause was insane.
Fire.
Like in Glassway, I use that thing. That thing is insane. So like, hopefully it brings that same kind of feel. I like perfect example. People love Trusty, but Trusty's a rapid fire.
Yeah.
That's an insane slot as the Crucible one. I forgot the name of it right now. The Pinnacle one too.
The Pinnacle one, yeah, that went away.
Eternal,
I remember
no, not Eternal Blazing.
Something Pocket. I forgot.
I forget.
Well, we're really good at podcasting.
My bad. It was Randy or something like that. It was Randy's
Knife.
Yeah. Trusty is like the same as Randy's, but hung jury is going to be completely different.
Yeah.
But if it's a lightweight, man, it's going to be good. If they make it high impact, it's going to suck. High impacts.
Yeah,
everything high impact in this game is just terrible.
Like auto rifle. Yeah, no high impact. High impact autos. They're hitting the 450s with a little bit of a change, like one level bump for I think PvP at least based at. But yeah, high impacts, which still feel terrible. 360 autos, not touched. I'm like,
I think the only high impact you got.
It's almost like I feel like they know if they like touch anything on high impacts, they're gonna break.
Yep,
it's like it's too strong. So if you give it any buff, it's too much.
Yeah, because think about this: in Crucible, someone can basically 3-tap you from far and have a lot of aim assist. No one's ever gonna like get closer fights, right?
Yeah. Agreed.
That's why I know the scouts don't do too well, like medium range anymore. Because in Destiny 1, you grab Visual Confluence, it did the same thing as a hand cannon. It did the same thing as a hand cannon. You didn't need a hand cannon because that thing had range, but you could use it up close. It's like they're trying to balance it. It's weird though. I don't know.
They've gone out their way to specifically say they're not going to like embrace that gameplay. Like they've gone out away from the distance and scout. So when I saw the aim assist thing, I said, okay, that's probably as far as they're going to go with it. But I agree. They're definitely making a hardline stance with the what you call it, aggressive, the extra powerful autos and all that stuff. I think is Messenger, isn't that the way heavy an aggressive?
That's like the Messenger.
Oh, isn't that
Pulse?
Yeah,
Pulse.
Yeah, but the Pulse rifles got some love.
Yeah, Pulse is the only one that lets you rock.
Yeah, the high impacts got some love. They can like 2-tab if you hit everything.
Yep.
Yeah, they definitely got some love.
But speaking of pulses, we know I'm getting a pulse. One of the seasonal weapons, because you got on the Fallen looking like the same as kind of the crazy armor with like the silver and the pink and green going on. You've got top right. If we're getting an exotic sidearm, which we will talk about here in a second, I don't know if that's another sidearm or a hand cannon. I can't quite tell where that's going to fall. I kept saying sidearm, but I don't know.
Oh, that's a sidearm.
Okay.
If you're talking about from the picture.
Before. Okay. It kept looking like a sidearm. I'm like, would they do two sidearms? But apparently. Top left, is that a grenade launcher of sub?
That's a grenade launcher, yeah.
Do you get okay? So we've got the one down. Okay, I guess sorry, not down.
It looks like it's going to be a kinetic grenade launcher. That's what it looks like.
Oh, please! I want one of those really bad. Because we've got the one that looked like it fell out of Iron Banner, but it's going to be the Vanguard one coming with the Crucible.
Yeah, because that one looked like an energy one. It
Yep.
looks just like, like you
Mhm.
said, like the IB one. But the
Yep.
one up top looks like it's going to be
Oh,
kinetic.
if I could get a kinetic,
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
fun with those, and people probably hate me in PvP when I use them. Like Salvage or Salvo, I just have fun because like trying to do the geometry bounces and stuff like that, I have a
Yeah.
good time. But also with the explosions, like chain reaction and stuff, I enjoy as well. And
Oh.
that one for PvE, like throwing
Mhm.
a bunch of like 4 or 5 guys and just let them go. So
I am terrible with that gun. I don't know what it is. My aim is the worst.
no,
Like
I
I
will
am
tell you,
terrible with that.
earning Mountaintop through the real quest line trained me to be better at
Trained you how
those.
to do it.
Straight
Yeah.
up did. Like
Yeah.
that was the only good thing about that is now is like I'm not perfect by any means, but I was like I got a decent feel of like the hold time for travel, and that was just practice. That's all it was. Um, okay, which exotic are you guys pumped about for armor? They all have potential, I think, but which one do you guys? Is there any you're scared about? Is there any you're excited about? Exotic armor, because
Spook season.
I can read them all. Star Eater Scales allows hunters to feast on orbs, charging their super more quickly and making it more potent. The Path of Burning Steps, Titan armor that converts solar eliminations into increased weapon damage, makes them more difficult to lock down with stasis. Boots of the Ambassador condenses a Warlock's Rift healing or empowering energy into projectiles that seek out their allies and bless them with noble benefits. So, EK, which one do you want? Which one's the most exciting to you?
If I look at all three, I would say probably the Warlock one stands out just because when it like your riff, whether it's healing or empowering, it's
Mhm.
gonna basically do the same thing as Luna. It's gonna shoot out a little thing that tracks your allies. That
Right.
might be good in end game, whether it's PvE or PvP.
Right.
Um, the Titan boots is kind of neat because
Mhm.
as any solar elemental kills,
Yep.
Mhm.
basically keep you away from like maybe getting frozen in stasis. That might be good in Crucible. But my thing is, a lot of Titans are not taking off Doom Archers. To be honest with you, or for movement. Like
Mhm.
movement matters a lot in Destiny, and that's one of the things that Doom Archers kind of does. And then the melee chaining. So I don't really see that taking over too much. Um, and then the Hunter, like the Hunter has so many good exotics that
Mhm.
I don't really know how much damage that's going to do because it requires you to pick up orbs first
Right.
and then to stack it. It almost reminds me of I think Storm Dancer's Brace, the Warlock chess piece. Like when you pop your
Yeah.
super and
Mhm.
you kill something, you get to do more damage. It doesn't even last long enough for you to stack it up to 5 to do
Right.
damage to a big thing. So like I feel like those boosts are probably going to be useless as well
Mhm.
when it comes to the Hunter. So the Warlock boosts are probably like the main thing that I see like possibly working there. Like
Mhm.
6-minute activity, someone has that on, and
Mhm.
like, oh man, I'm one shot. All of a sudden, something just comes up and hits you and
Coverage.
heals
Yeah.
you. You know what I mean? Like that seems like it'll work in both aspects of the game,
Yeah.
Mhm.
PvE or PvP, a lot
Now,
better than the other two.
let me ask
Yeah.
you this, EK, about the Warlock
Mhm.
Boost. Do you think it's gonna be subclass specific, or do you think it doesn't matter? And do you think it'll be tied to solar class, like
No,
Middle Tree Warlock? You
Mm,
think it'll be?
no, why
So
would
you
it be?
nope.
right.
It
Now,
just,
and
it
then
just, it just said Rift. It said healing
yeah.
or empowering. So
Yeah, that's not
that's all
class
classes.
specific. Yep.
Yo, that's exciting because that's true support role. It reminds me of yeah, Lumina, right? In the
Yeah.
sense that Lumina would shoot out and seek out. So
Hmm.
basically, if I put a rift down and then it's gonna seek out for either the empowering or that's pretty good for high-end content. I
Yeah.
am curious though with the Titan, how much weapon damage
Yeah,
they
that's
actually
I
get.
love my Solar Titan. I just
Yeah.
do. Like PvP, I'm better with throwing hammers.
Mhm,
And I just enjoy it more. So if I can go solar, have
mhm,
better weapon damage, and then just annoy the stasis people, cool. But mine's
mhm.
mostly like if I'm using solar ability, then I switch to a weapon, I've got a damage bonus.
Right.
That sounds fun for me, depending on
Mhm.
again like how difficult to lock down with stasis. There's very
Right.
few places in PvE that's going to do a damn thing, but to mess with
Yeah.
people in PvP, not bad. The one that I'm worried about
Oh,
is Star Eater Scales, the hunter one. Now,
bless.
granted, you said there are powerful hunter exotics for sure. There are a ton of
Mhm.
them,
Mhm,
but my question would be like if hunters somebody goes a full intellect build and can get their super started, and you
mhm.
have, say, 3 hunters in a party, say in trials, and they can start chaining, like, waiting on their supers and stuff. Like, if they start chaining supers and the orbs help each other get it more quickly and it's more powerful, and then more of them have it more frequently, I could see like bigger groups of hunters in a PvP setting if they're sharing orbs start steamrolling other teams. I don't know how much it could get there, but if they can really get that orb sharing going as a team, it could be something you could really troll people. Like 6-person team of hunters with this in Iron Banner, just like rolling around the map. So I don't know how much it's gonna help.
You don't know how you feel about that.
I don't know how it feels. Like it may not be that powerful. And believe me, the Warlock one for me is like PvE, PvP, just all the time. Just the thing that recently New Red in my chat, he was showing me a chaperone sitting in like Lunafaction. So it's got the empowering range. Hit that thing from like 25 meters with chaperone, and I was like, gee, what? So if you could make that mobile, and if you could just send that out and somebody's, now my shotgun hits this far and I move, like that's terrifying.
Timer has to be extremely short.
It can't be that long, but like that could be.
Yeah, but I hear you.
It could be. I just like the ideas. Like I can actually see some fun for all three. Some of these I'm like, hey, the hunter throwing knife bounces 2 times or something like. That one didn't do it for me, but at least all of these, I'm happy to see, like, I could see use for all of these. And I think that's probably the first time in a while I've been like, yep, I can give all these at least a decent chance, all of them.
For me, y'all excited me because, I'm so used to mentally as a warlock having to be a solar warlock just to be into that whole support role. So now I'm like, oh, well, now... Yeah, y'all gave me excitement. Like now I could be a void lock, a devour lock, help myself, and also lay rifts down and do stuff. Like it opens it up for the other two to have some support capability. I'm excited now. Y'all should have told me that.
Even perfect example. I know the disable right now, even in stasis turret, you have that out and you still have your rift up and you're still helping out and your turret is freezing things. So it's just like,
I'm thinking about Arc Souls too. If you Arc, there's a lot of that. Yeah, these boots gonna get some run because normally Warlock boots are trash, but these ones.
Are you forgetting Geomags?
No, Geos is good.
Geos like tip the scale.
No, but I take it back. The one that always pisses me off, and I'm demanding a rework, Bungie. Prometheus Spur. We gotta talk about Prometheus Spur. That was a waste. That was a waste of time. I don't see any functionality for that. And we need a rework for Prometheus because they look hot. But I'm like, I'm not using this thing.
It's just like it was weird for me. I felt like those boots are made for like a horde mode or something.
Yeah.
Where, like you get your super back a lot, so you kill stuff, and you just make a bunch of like risks for your teammates, so you guys are just shredding stuff. It's like seriously, like it reminds me of like a horde mode. Like we need to kill a bunch of stuff and be efficient throughout the whole thing. How do we keep rifts up? Like that's what it reminds me of. But I don't really see a spot for it. Like I know, like I memed it with my clanmates, and like we made it work, but like it's not really,
not a real exotic. Yeah, those actually did look pretty cool. I remember those.
So cool, but continue.
Outside of the legendaries, outside of those, we have the sidearm, the stasis shooting sidearm.
I know you're excited about this.
Stasis doesn't bother me in PvP. Honestly, I'm not one of those, mostly because I don't PvP that much. And if I do, I'm like, there are moments where I'm like in my fire super and I get frozen. I'm like, this feels wrong. But I don't PvP enough that I'm like, that it ruins my day all the time. But it is funny. People like, hey, can you please take stasis out of PvP? Which, by the way, it's not going to happen. It's in the game. That's just not going anywhere. But on the other side, now they gave you a gun that shoots it for the first time. And it's not a little grenade launcher. It's now I don't know if it takes like a critical kill or if you got to proc it up with a certain number of shots, because he's shooting goblins beforehand, reloads, spins it up, and fires. I don't know. EK, thoughts on this? I can't decide if it's one that's actually got a lot of potential or not.
The gun is very balanced how they did it, right? Because first of all, there's no stasis shield in the game, so they put in a kinetic slot, and you gotta kill someone in order to proc it.
Right.
So like a chill clip or something like that. So you have to kill someone, and then when you're proccing it, you have to hold down and then charge it. It's almost like what are like those reload animations for like other guns when you're switching stuff. But my thing is, I believe it's like slow, then like freeze and shatter or something like that.
Yeah.
So you might we saw the guy kill a bunch of things and then reload. In Crucible, I don't think anybody's gonna be killing like, oh, let me kill you with the sidearm. And you have, most people have a 120 that can take you out from really far, or a pulse rifle. Let me kill you real quick, like up close, and let me reload and then go freeze this guy. I feel like for all that,
Mhm.
I could just run, my abilities. I could just throw 2 kunais. I could throw a grenade.
Mhm.
Like if I'm a warlock, I could throw my melee to freeze you. I could put up a rift to freeze you. So
Mhm.
like I feel like it was balanced out because
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not going to Crucible with no damn sidearm.
I was
Gotta
like,
be-
the only
gotta
one
be
I know
nuts
might
up.
be True Vanguard, and more power to him.
Mhm.
He might have fun with it. He's the only one I know is like really repping sidearms, but it's
Yeah,
probably not a
someone might make a
big
YouTube
list.
video, but like, yeah, I don't know.
Don't
He
think it's a
came with
big
it.
deal. Yeah.
He came with it. Listen,
But if the gun was shooting stasis right off the bat, I'll be pissed. If it was just like freeze tag all the damn time in Crucible,
That is what it would be.
like
You're right. Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm out.
you don't want to shoot it off the rip. You don't want to stasis.
Nah, no, man.
He cared about that life. Sub-Zero in the chat. Oh, yeah. Look, man. I'll hear you on that. I do feel the kill part of it is balanced. You know what I mean? I'm curious to see what archetype, because if it falls into what's that joint I like? It's a Omelon energy sidearm. I'm actually team sidearm sometimes on Crucible. I be getting like usually I do my little backup against
Yeah.
the apes. When the apes come, I just little backpedal like and get them out of there. But I'm curious. It's in a kinetic spot. It's probably going to be, for all accounts, a better PVE weapon. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just curious to see how. Now, let me ask you a question. When it does the freeze, then it's a single target freeze, or can
It
you?
looks like a bullet. I mean, there's not a
Yeah.
lot. There's only one guy in front of him, but he does tend to hit him about center mass. So he's like, it
Yeah,
doesn't look like a
you're
cone.
not freezing like 5 people. No,
Oh,
you freezing one thing.
I
We'll make
hope
sure,
not.
but I can get away with it.
Nah. I asked a lot of questions about that damn gun. I was like,
Cool.
it's gonna be like one of those guns that you just pick up, you have fun with, maybe, but yeah, it's not gonna break the sandbox. Thank God.
Okay. All right.
'Cause, man,
I'm curious. That's all. We'll see how it happens. But your thoughts?
I mean, I think EK pretty well said it. I think it's the fact that you need to do something to proc it first.
Yeah.
Without being just like straight out of the gate, whether it's criticals, whether it's kills, whatever the specific qualification is. Once you hit that, there are certain people who are definitely going to be like, all right, I'm just going to run sidearms today and I'm going to troll people with the shoot the freezy bullet. But outside of that, like, it's going to be some clips and some fun. I don't imagine it's going to be game changing because you got to be in a pretty close engagement for sidearms to do its thing. And if it's like a trial situation, you're not going to have it procced already.
yeah.
Like, there's going to be one clip somewhere where somebody's like, bing, 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 bing with a sidearm, and they freeze the last guy, juke on him, and then get to, like, finish him up. But that's about it. There's going to be one clip out there where somebody gets, like, a 3-team wipe with a sidearm with this gun, and the final freezing bullet, they just shut him down, laugh at him, and then kill him. One time.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening again, so.
Yeah. It'll probably be like Yodzin. Like when Yodzin first came out, be like, oh my God, this thing tracks and it hits me. Now, like you see someone with the charge, you just move and then you don't get hit, right? So it's like something like that. Like if someone sees someone using that sidearm, like, oh, I'm not dying to this. Like you know what I mean? Or oh, he just killed someone with the sidearm on the feed. Let me back up real quick. Because I think about it this way too. When you charge up that shot, it's not gonna last that damn long. It's probably gonna be like kill clip. Like it only lasts for what, like 3-4 seconds. So like if you don't use it, it's gone again, and you gotta try to get another kill. So.
Oh, so you think it's going to operate like almost like a desperado in a sense? Like you've got a quick amount of seconds to do it, and then it'll go away. Or okay.
Yeah. I don't think that thing is going to stack.
Gotcha.
So
it's going to be interesting, man.
Yeah.
Cryothesia. I want to use it now just to troll, just to see what it does.
All right. On a separate note,
just let people sit on their frozen rounds.
Yeah.
Oh, I killed a few people. I'm just gonna like hold this in.
I was like, if you can sit there and just reload and it's just sitting there, like, but if it works like say like a Momentum Mori where it's just there, first bullet, they've got functionality where it could, but yeah, that would definitely. I was like, but again,
that would be stupid as well.
So it's like
if they let you just sit there with it, nah.
I'd be like, all right, who's coming? Bink.
Cryothesia. Giving y'all that anesthesia bullet.
Yeah. Be like, what happened? I don't know. I blacked out. I was frozen. Like that's what. So yeah.
This is funny.
Okay, can we talk about this armor? Both the Fallen Season armor and then the ornaments. The Titan helmets. Can we please talk about these like big ass dome One looks like a fallen shank, and I can't get on board with either of these Titan helmets. Like, I
can't get jiggy with that.
I got Warlock Predator, Warlock Green Goblin. I got some like fallen eyes and cool like feathers, and then I got big old squished like somebody shoved a shank on top of the Titan. I can't do it. Like,
I'm with you.
do you guys like some of the armor?
Nah, from the previous seasons, most of the armor has been like ridiculous. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't get jiggy with this. This
None of them?
I'm always
people rock it though, man.
Yeah.
That hot dog looking helmet that the Titan got this season.
I can't.
People rock that.
No,
thing.
that's not the hot dog helmet. That's the Hitachi helmet.
Yeah, whatever that is, people rock it. I'm like, you can take that off, man. That's just crazy. People rock it, man.
Can't,
They make it ugly as possible. People still wear it. I'm like, this is some bull.
What is up with the giant triple bar thing on the Titan's back as well? What is why is that? It's like I'm taking a flagpole out somewhere that it's a collapsible flagpole and it's stuck. I don't understand. Like some of those are at least there's no goofy stuff like that. But the Titan helms, they're just like they're oddly wide and squished. You guys have like Cool Eyes and Green Goblin, and the seasonal ornaments. I've got a pink Knight Rider mouth sitting on a heavy shank. Like I am, I don't know. Like I like the aesthetic of basically everything from the head down. I think they actually did cool there with the Fallen, with more of the drapery and like the clothing and kind of like the fur look. And then I like kind of the Tron neon of the ornaments, but man, my helmet's just ruined both. I'll have to put another helmet on. I can get on board with the rest.
Yo, Hunt has been eating. Like at least they join is at least passable. You know what I mean? But I just can't. As a Warlock, I cannot get down with this right here.
I'm getting the Everest armor anyway.
Yeah, I'm going. Test we gonna be eating that test.
Yeah, F that. Going to test and picking up some stuff. I mean, 30 per character. That's like 5 different looks right there because an exotic put on too. Yeah. You know, and then they're fixing the Solstice gear because they said that in the TWAB. Yes. So like people that got like the old Solstice stuff, because I know a lot of people were mad. They're like, we don't get to like, put this in for transmog. So I'm glad they worked on that. But I swear there were some people like, I should have all my gear be transmog. I was like, that's like 4,000 pieces of gear. Like, you know how much memory that is? Like,
that's a lot.
You know what? Yeah, you fight for that. Can I have more vault space? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Get this man 1,000 slots
for the way you want to look. Okay, I want vault space.
You want that vault space?
Yeah, I'm function over fashion. I'm with you. I will take function every day.
Is gone. Now we're getting a bunch of seasons, so that vault got to open up because now there's more weapons going into it. You know, that's the argument right there. You know.
Yeah, sunsetting gone, and now more armors. Like, oh, you don't need to keep that. I need every option of weapon because you never know what they're going to. 18 months later, we get a buff on rocket launchers. Be like, oh, those are good now. Well, I deleted some good ones. I didn't have to if I had. Yeah, believe me, I'm with you on the vault space because I live perpetually in hell with that one. Fusion rifle. What is it called? Null Composure. I actually really like the coloring on this one. Like the blue undertones of the black and the yellow. It doesn't even hardly look like a fusion rifle, but I was like, it looks cool. So that looks like it's going to be the pursuit weapon.
Give me that loaded question vibe that I like.
That's the one they might be throwing that perk on again.
Give me my perk back. I love that fusion.
Loaded question was fun. Yeah, so we got that one.
A lot of people were talking about that. Like, I need to get that perk back. I need to get that perk back. I was like, man, I don't know what's going on in this gun. We'll see.
You
know, because Salvo was different. You know, it was fun. So.
Yeah, we got some subclass tuning for stasis. Looks like Hunters, the freeze detonation is getting
nerfed again.
Yeah, that one's getting nerfed. And then you can actually see the red ring. That I like.
I like that.
Because I feel like I've like leaned out of the way and it's like not quite enough to like go around the tornado of doom. Titans, nothing too major. Warlocks, obviously the bleak watcher aspect now grants 2 fragment slots. I think it was 1 before, so somebody said that got a buff.
Yeah.
And the Chaos Reach is not going to have like ridiculous through wall splash damage situations, so that's going to get fixed. The nav mode, the new like ghost bounty scrolling and everything like that. Do you guys think do you think it's ever going to get overburdened? Like depending on if your bounty slots are too full, do you guys think that'll probably be just mostly a good thing?
What you think, EK?
Right now, I keep thinking about this. I'm like, there's gonna be a whole lot of crap on the screen that you're gonna try to scroll through. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be a huge fan of that. We'll
Mhm.
see.
Yeah.
Because like we already have like a screen for it that we could just go into and
Right.
kind of look at it like our bounties and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Now we pull out our ghost so we can see it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
One of my friends is jumping for joy for this. He thinks this is one of the greatest quality of life. So I'm like, okay, God bless, say less.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But look, I'm never gonna be against UI, stuff, but it is. That's a lot of like because what is it now? Like all the bounties, right? Every bounty you
It
have.
looked
Yeah,
like
all the bounties and quests and all that stuff is
I
gonna
mean,
be
I've had
on
like
there.
30 bounties. I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm scrolling through those. That
Hmm.
seems a bit excessive to have them all. So
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean, like it's nice for people that are probably like in lost sectors, like, yeah, I need to get my light up. But
mhm.
no, I got like 5 bounties. If I want to see them, I could just go back into my thing. Oh,
Yeah.
look, this is what I got.
Yeah. They want
To
that
each
extra.
their own, though.
Yeah, you know, yep. Some people don't like that extra
Yeah.
step. Oh, shout out to Zoe. She said, "Did EK tell you how tall he is? I'm tall and I feel small next to EK."
this man is
Oh, man.
6'5". I had my best
Woo.
friend for years. 6'5". I'm
Yeah.
about 6 foot and I feel short in life until I start meeting other people. So no, this man 6'5". So
Salute.
what'd you play in basketball?
Mhm.
Position.
Uh,
You go out.
I was I was like a guard forward.
No
I was
doubt.
like in between, basically. Yeah.
Mhm. No doubt. No doubt. Salute. You already
Yeah.
know. So we got what else we got? Either sandbox stuff.
Working through it. Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, we got the subclass stuff. Basically, Kevin Giannis, he's the sandbox discipline lead, covers PvP. He said a quick list of some places they're actively looking at for future. Stasis freeze, kind of how that works. The slow accuracy penalties. I know I've heard a lot of the PvP guys talk about that. Whisper of
Mhm.
Hedrons. What is that? Does anybody know what that one does specifically?
I
I think
forgot.
that's extra damage. I
Okay.
don't remember.
Okay.
Mhm.
So they're
Yeah.
working on some stuff for a PvP patch coming.
Mhm.
You got the UI changes, obviously. Now, this is where I wondered, like, how much story was going to tie into Vault of Glass because they said Legends, that's all they call it, added
Right.
to the Director Destinations tab, and this is where you'll find Vault of Glass in just a few weeks. And that's where I wondered if there is any tie into the story. If, like, is Destiny Content Vault just being like, hey, here's this old stuff you can play again, it looks better. This is in the, Legends Go art, like, almost feels like an archive.
Right.
So I couldn't tell how to read that word to know if there is going to be story stuff or it's just like, hey, the old raid's back, go have fun. And that's it.
Mm.
That's why,
Yeah.
like, my theory before seems to may have been shot by me reading that one sentence.
Yeah,
So,
I always got the vibe it was going to be like a separate entity, just like an old school playlist, nothing narratively connected. It would be cool if they did it, but I've always got the vibe that this is something they're going to do and kind of like bring back old content without necessarily a narrative tie-in. So, was it?
Yeah, I don't know. I always thought that raids shouldn't be tied to like the planets anyway. They should just have like a section where you click on raids because at the end of Destiny 1, we had it, what was it, Age of Triumphs or whatever.
Yes.
You could just
yes.
click on it and you had all the raids in the same menu. It would be nice
Yes.
to just have all the raids like that. So
Oh,
then, like, some of the raids that they took away, they could probably bring it back because it's not tied
mm,
to planet anymore. It's just like
preach,
its own space.
preach it, brother. I've
A
been saying
Yeah.
weekly
that for a long
featured raid,
A weekly
perhaps?
featured raid would
Mhm.
be nice. That would be nice. Yeah.
I think they were talking about doing something like that.
That,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, I was like, that
That's
would.
what's up.
I just feel like a weekly featured raid, weekly featured dungeon. Give us a reason to be like, hey, the Pinnacle's not just prophecy for
Yeah.
the umpteenth, month in a row. Be like, hey, if you want
Mhm.
to go run Pit of Heresy, you can go get a Pinnacle in there this week and be like, oh, that'd be kind of fun to go mix it up a little. Like the content's
Mhm.
sitting there, and I feel like that's just sometimes I feel it could be nice to give that a little refresher.
Agreed.
Especially if they add one more dungeon, I feel like that'll be time.
Yeah.
Because then you'll have you got 4 raids at that point, so some variety would be
Mhm.
good in there. They also said they're moving the helm to the director, so basically just quality of life. And also, if you focus in Umbral, you get what comes out of it. You don't have to walk around the corner and then
Uh,
decrypt it. Just little quality of life stuff is
Mhm.
coming.
mhm.
They did say glory, valor, and infamy. They've got some changes coming for those, and this is what is planned for season 15, which we still don't know when it is,
Mhm.
or we know when it is now.
Mhm.
Basically, because that's when Vanguard reputation is going to come. They're going to rebalance infamy more in line with valor. That stuff's going to come with 15, but
Right.
they're kind of basically making more of glory, infamy, valor this next season a bit more linear, a little more straightforward to deal with. So we got some stuff there. We got the Eververse archive, and we have trace rifle mods.
Yeah.
It's been that long to get trace rifle bots.
Yep.
Interesting.
Is there
Interesting.
any? I was like, honestly, I mostly just see people putting Divinity and reserves on probably for that one more than just about anything else.
Divinity gonna get an uptick for sure.
Yeah. Are there any other trace rifles that you guys would like to pull out of the vault to use with stuff like this, or are they
I
not
would
really
say
still doing it?
Prometheus lens is pretty nice because you can just keep filling and like it keeps refilling as well. So if you were running 2 special ammo weapons, only special would drop. So you can just keep having ammo for that thing too.
Mhm.
You probably run like a sniper and that, right? Because it's special ammo.
Mhm.
Kohar is not bad. Kohar used to do a lot of damage. I
Kohar
don't
used
know if they fixed it though.
Yeah.
Because you weren't able to stack the damage with like divinity bubbles or anything like that. Like none of the other rifles were working with divinity. I
Right.
think they fixed that in the previous patch. I don't remember.
Mhm.
But it'd be nice to kind of see those 2 like work together again.
Yeah.
Because Kohar, the longer you hold it, the more damage it did.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty neat to see that ramp up with like a divinity bubble or something.
Yeah, that'd be
Nice.
fine. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
Kohar was the move back in Leviathan. That was like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
go-to weapon at one point.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah, but it's good to see them do that.
Well, there's a little bit of PvP. You get momentum control and Team
Oh,
Scorched
yeah.
coming back.
Oh, wow. Oh, joy, the commitment to PvP. Woo! Yeah, yeah. This is what I've been waiting for. That momentum control. That got me hyped. No map though. Yeah, PvP, man. What we doing out here, man? What we doing out here, man? It's crazy. I'm tired of talking about it. It's like beating the dead drum. I would like just some clarity on when they plan on addressing it. That's all. Just let me know when's the timetable that they are actually going to seriously address it, because it's the butt of a joke. We the forgotten children, man. Like we the black sheep out here, man. No love for PvP. I just want some love, man. That's it.
I was like, have you
Treat us.
seen the trials loot this weekend?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely nice. There's incentive to get in there for the
Igneous
week.
Hammer, Igneous Hammer, Igneous Hammer, and Adaptive Igneous Hammer. I was like, are you serious?
Oh, they know because no one. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I don't know the population numbers, but it's been proven that when they put a good weapon in there, yeah, it's going to get engagement. But it's just like, bro, we got to do something. This is really a joke now. And between that and the transmog, I just need a state of Bungie eventually. When is it happening? That's all. Once you communicate, I'm cool. I lay off you. What I don't know, then I'm gonna be in my feelings, and I gotta get out at work. So that's just where I'm at with it. You know what I'm saying? But hold on a second. I'll say it. He said, "You laugh, but you be happy." It's back. What's that side on Catalyst question? We'll see. We'll see. It's just, again, I'm just tired of the neglection and the acting like it doesn't exist when PvE and other modes get
Yeah.
a lot of love.
So EK, I was like, I know you do tons of PvE stuff. Obviously, GMs are kind of your jam and stuff like that. What are your what does PvP appeal that much to you? Is there anything you'd like to see in there? Are you waiting for just like a big change to kind of jump back in? Do you PvP that much in the first place?
Bruh, I mean, I used to PvP a lot. I don't know anymore. PvP is in a weird place, and even like with trials, I don't even think like Bungie itself can fix that, because the thing is, even if there's low incentive, people still like the population goes up, but it's not what it used to be. I think trials was like this like prize thing that we had in Destiny 1. And not too many people were like new to that, especially when we moved to PC, where a lot more players got like a lot better. But the thing that like hurts the most is the population, man. If you think about it, because if there were like a million people playing, right, and there's like 1,000 cheaters, you wouldn't see it as much, right? Because
Yep.
I think every game on PC has cheaters. There's always like some crazy shit. But the thing is, there's like maybe 15,000 people playing, and there's like 1,000 cheaters. Every other match is a freaking cheater, which sucks. And I know they say they're working on anti-cheat and stuff like that. And they can't tell us.
Yeah.
I just honestly, to me, I feel like that needs to get like re-scrapped and like find a way to like change the game mode to make it to where people want to play it.
Right.
Not just rewarding, but like something that people enjoy. Like,
Mhm.
perfect example, you get into a match right now. If you're facing like 3 people running chaos, they're just gonna wait it out. There's no time incentive to move. There's nothing that tells someone like, oh, I need to do something,
Right.
right? There's no objective. Maybe like the time on the rounds maybe needs to be a little bit shorter or
Mhm.
something.
To
Like,
force engagement.
yeah, have y'all noticed, like, there's times where I run trials card and I'm like, yo, why does this card feel like it's been an hour? And it's because like the other teams are like playing slow.
Oh,
Now you gotta wait for the base to grab it. It's just like,
good point. That's a good point.
and then sometimes the weapons that are like meta or that have been made for the game mode are just they're not the greatest. Like, like people don't want to use some of those things because then it slows down the whole entire gameplay. You know? It's
No.
like when I look back at like Destiny 1 Crucible, I loved it. And when I look at Destiny 2's Crucible, I'm like the thing in Destiny 1, you didn't have to be the greatest player, bro. You go in there, you just have fun, man. Like you didn't have to be like top 1% or like even 3% to go flawless. You can
Right.
play with your friends, get drunk or whatever, and possibly go flawless. Now it's like
Sweat
I
city.
gotta like sweat my butt off, like every
Mhm.
corner. Like, yo, he's
Yeah.
doing this. Oh, he might be cheating. Yo, put your sword in. Like,
Facts. Yep.
you know. So now when I get in Crucible, my brain just turns off. I'm just like shooting. If I die, I died. It's like I don't care about it as much anymore. And I always tell my friends this too. Like, if you want to like make something
Mhm.
content and you're trying to grow as a PvP player, I feel like the new Apex Arena is one of those things that kind of works out. Because Destiny Crucible for me was always fun, right? It
Yes.
wasn't like I wasn't trying to be a competitive player. Like we had so many fun guns to just go in the sandbox and work with. If you think about it, in Destiny 1, we had so many broken things, blink shotties, like we
Oh
had arc
God.
blade, we had hammers, bro. We had like some of the craziest things, bro. And it was still fun. Like I remember when no backup plan and universal remote was a thing.
Oh
Like,
God.
you know what I'm saying? But we still played it. It wasn't like bad. Like people freaking enjoyed it. People made clips, man. Now is I don't know anymore, And we don't get charged for content when it comes to Crucible either. Like I I have a lot of friends that are like, man, yo, what's going on with Crucible? Is there new maps? I'm like, they're not charging us for anything. They're not even charging us for end game Crucible, which is trials, right?
Yep.
Even that doesn't have a paywall. Even that is free. And it's weird to me, because then if we're not paying for it, like if we ask about it, they're not really gonna say much. It's I spoke my piece about it too at the summit, but like it's weird to have something that's like part of the game,
Right.
yet like you said, we got a new like trailer. There was nothing shown about
Not
Crucible.
one thing about
Like it's almost like the baby that's there, but at the same time, like it gets like messed with like here and there or gets a little tuning, but it's not like the main thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's,
No,
it's,
you
it's
said it perfectly. You said it perfectly. It's neglect, but it's not acknowledging it, and it's just an interesting shift as to why. Why, again, is it a resource thing? Whatever it is, but it's like you said, it's trailer after trailer, season after season, and you just don't see anything about it. And the most we'll get is when it's time for Sandbox. You'll say, okay, we're going to tune this, we're going to tune that, stasis here, with this weapon there. They'll do that. But when it comes to actual modes, when it comes to actual incentive and really taking the time to really revamp and flush it out and say, hey, we notice you guys are not playing. This is a focus of ours. We want to do X, Y, and Z. It's not there. And it's just very curious as to why. I don't know. And then why they don't want to talk about it. That's the other thing. So, yeah, just enough season PvP.
It's like, I mean, I'm with you guys because at this point, I'm not a hardcore PvP person. I'll jump in occasionally, do some bounties, do some seasonal stuff, whatever's in there. Play a couple different modes. Maybe get carried a little bit in trials, get a weapon or two, something like. Not often anything crazy hardcore.
Right.
But I'm with you guys. The main reason is like there's not much incentive for me to do that. There's not much variety in there. I mean, even just take Iron Banner. It's a general activity for a
I
lot.
roll my eyes when that comes out.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like we joked before. It's like you can't put Rift in there one time just every so often. Be like, hey, you want to play Rift? It's going to be this week. People may be like, oh, we want control, but like once a season when you've got 4 of them on the calendar or something like that, you can't get little stuff like that. It just does. And I think the silence is deafening to a point where rumors about the other IP. Now, I was like, I mean, is that the question of where the PvP focus is at? Is that to the point where they're like, we could work on putting Rift into Destiny, or we can save all of these PvP things and go put them in this other thing. Is that the more you think about it, the more you're like, is that where it's all going? Because it does seem at this point, sandbox balancing is a thing, but no maps in like 2 years, no modes that people have asking for a while. Crucible Labs has faded away. There's not a whole
Remember
lot
that?
of, yeah, like Crucible Labs have been a while.
Mhm.
And maps were, and just, there's no, like, at this point, it is Witch Queen where you're like, are we going to get it? If you don't see anything in Witch Queen, you're like, all right, I got to know something. They
Yeah.
have to say something before then, because if like, Witch Queen is a point where, I don't know. I mean, it'll
Yeah.
be there, but that's like, it is odd though, as very PvP, PvE, like, person. PvP is the stuff that keeps it alive on the weekends.
Right.
The reason Destiny has Twitch on weekend viewing mostly at all is trials, is PvP, is stuff like that. And then there's the people like EK who are doing like carries and Sherpas and things, but I was like, a chunk of it is PvP, especially on the weekends, and they're trying with trials, but they are not helping their case. So it's very strange to know about the IP being a rumor, like the job description and otherwise, and it could be a couple years away. But as you said, they've got to say something,
Gotta just say
because the
something. That's
longer it
all.
goes, the worse it's going to get.
Yeah, the worse it's gonna get.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree.
This is the weird thing about shows like this, like EK. It's like we were on. It's like I could go through and be like, we have a whole new set of seasonal content to cover, and we've gone on shows that have gone like far past 2 hours. Not even at 2 right now, and I'm like, are we actually at the end of the show?
Yeah, we actually went through.
Like we're oddly efficient when we have a lot to cover, and then we're horribly inefficient when
We're
we
probably inefficient when it's a light.
yeah, when we have like random tangents, talk 30 minutes about
Facts.
food in the middle of it, like
Facts.
random stuff happens.
Facts.
But like we gotta go, we gotta be on schedule. Boom, okay, gone. Like but I wanted to ask one more thing for you guys, and this is kind of where we'll wrap it up. We finally know the length of this coming season. It's 3.5 months. So we finally actually got a date on the schedule. It's going to go through August 24th. That leaves September, October, November, December. And we know Witch Queen is coming sometime in 2022. Maybe it's January. That's 5 months. Maybe it's February. It's 6 months, depending on how long they need. How would you guys like season 15 to be handled? And if I don't give you an option, you can always use option C if you come up with one. Do they do a 5-6 month season and try and date it? And give us like, kind of your front loaded season like they did this time, and then your Iron Banners and your trials, and somehow eventually connect it? Or they just do a 3-month season and then say, okay, now we're going to, dig deep and work on Witch Queen. We'll get it to you when we can. What would you like to see? What do you expect to see? Or if there's an option C, I didn't think of that too. EK? Guest gets to go first on this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like we might get another season. And then who knows? We might get Witch Queen early. We might get it late, or they might do what they did with the previous season, where they extended it another 2 months. You got to remember too. I think crossplay is coming in during that time.
Yep.
And if they bring back another raid and they add a new raid, I think that'll be more enough for us to kind of keep busy during that time. My focus though is like the transition of everything, right? PvE, PvP, lore. All of it. If they have it, because the thing is they're good at scheduling stuff and kind of like putting stuff up on the calendar. So it seems to me like they'll probably have something set up for us to do during that time. I don't know about like a 2 month of just like seeing nothing.
Yeah, that's the part. Yeah, I was curious.
Worst come to worst, we might get like 2 seasons like of like 3 and 3, meaning like it's going into 2022. And then maybe February is when Witch Queen starts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So more likely we might just end up getting 2 seasons and then that. I'm not sure because when we're looking at the past, I think there's one more season after the next. So then they might just extend that one and find ways to do it because during the holidays, Christmas, we have that seasonal
Dawning,
dawning as well. So you never know. They might be able to pull something off. I hope that they have something, for us to do.
Yeah.
That's my biggest sake usually.
Yeah, I mean, good point. It is an interesting situation because we know the length of the season and we know when Witch Queen is actually going to start, right? So it's how they handle the buffer, right? Because it would be kind of wild to be like, all right, that's it. See you today. See you to next season. Nothing more, y'all. That would be hilarious. I doubt that happens, but it is interesting. How many we get packed in between, and if it's like, 2 shorter ones, or I'm curious. This is unique territory because generally, that big fall expansion is always that September. Lately maybe October if it got
Mhm.
delayed a month. But we've never had it where it's like, yo, we're not getting the big expansion until next year, which is with Witch Queen. So
Yeah.
this is an interesting position, and I'm curious. I'm curious. Yeah, I'm dying to know how you want to handle it, E, because I know this is a big thing for you.
I mean, I've listed multiple options of how it could go.
Right.
You could make it a normal season, 3.5 months, something like that. The reason I would worry, sometimes people really complain about the drip feed.
Right.
So if you try and stretch like a story over 5 months, or you're like front load a season for 7 weeks,
Right.
and then like at the end of the season, you've got a tie into Witch Queen,
Right.
there's a big gap in the middle.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
your trials, your iron banners, if they have maybe a mission or something that you can do. And at
Mhm.
some point, there's going to be a lot of games coming out in the fall, and there's going to be some okay downtime. And I'm okay with that. And that's why part of me is like, however, there's probably going to be downtime. I'm fine with it.
Right.
My biggest thing is like, I wonder if they'll even date Witch Queen
Hmm.
when season 15 starts.
Right.
Like, are they even going to tell us the length of that in the first place? So they're
That's
going
a
to be
good
like,
point.
here's the
Yeah.
dates and more question to like an arrow to Witch
Right.
Queen. Like, is it
Right.
even going to be as specific enough to know, epilogue this time? That's a weird thing, by the way, on the end of this season calendar.
Yes, never
They've
seen it.
never said that. Like,
Say that.
epilogue, that's like the
Epilogue. What that
anecdote
mean?
at the end of the story. I'm like, what happens at the end of this story?
Mhm.
So I'm very, hopefully it's more than the Guardian Games closing ceremony. That's all I got to say, because there was nothing there. But
Mhm.
for me, it's just very, I want them to take all the time they need to make
Mhm.
Witch Queen what it hopefully can be.
All right, let me double back. So are you comfortable with them taking a break?
I am
If
100%
Okay.
comfortable. Yeah,
Okay. I'm curious.
absolute.
Mhm.
There's gonna be there is eventually gonna be some holiday games.
Right.
There's gonna be some light months, but somehow May is full of 5 of them.
Mhm.
Like, you got Returnal, you got Resident Evil, you got Biomutant, and then
Mhm.
2 others at least. I'm like, that's 1 month. And then, of
Right.
course, things are gonna be planned for holiday. There's stuff we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Right.
You've got your Horizons, you've got your Halos. Whether both of or either of those make it, there's tons of stuff in the holidays. They're always that is a time for sales. So a
I
gap
think
in
2K is also working on something,
oh,
so
Mm.
we'll see.
Yep.
Yeah.
so
Yep.
like for me, the gap is fine
Right.
because at some point there's going to be a break. My curiosity is if they're willing to do that. If they're willing to say, "Hey, Iron Banner could go like every couple of weeks, pop that one up to give people pinnacles to grind for, give you extra time to work on all the previous seasons of stuff in case you jump in late. Trials is there every weekend. And then you can work on what you want to, but it's like at some point I feel like they do have to be like, we want to focus on this. We can't
Right.
just keep peppering little stuff in because I'd
Right.
rather have a solid season 15 that they
Mhm.
like are happy with the quality of, as opposed to trying to like jam little fillers in for
Yeah.
just for time. So
I
it's
feel you.
like, yeah, it's like whether it could be 5 months and that's a long season, but I'm okay with the downtime because
Mhm.
it's honestly been nice to have the breaks. Like EK's
I
playing
will.
Genshin and stuff like that. So it's like it's been good to step away
Mhm.
because then when you fire a Destiny gun again, you're like, yep, that feels good as opposed to living it every day. So
Man,
Right.
yeah, I've been telling people that all the time. Like, if if you feel burnt out or you're mad, or like, the thing is, like, the video game is supposed to like get your spirits up and keep you like happy and cheer up. If you're mad playing the video game, stop playing it. Go outside real quick.
Preach. Go
You know?
outside.
Yeah,
stop,
like,
do something else.
just go for a walk real quick. That's the wrong thing. Like, sure, you're mad because someone teabagged you or something like that. Cool.
Wow.
Like that. I still don't get it how virtual nuts like trigger people, but it does. But like, if that happens, just like step outside real quick, because like
Mhm.
you're playing video games to enjoy them. You're not playing video games to get frustrated and be
Right.
like, this person should be fired and all that. No, you're playing it because you're like, I want to enjoy it. You're not going to watch a TV show that you're not going to like. No, you're
Right.
going to watch a show that you're interested in, right? Because you want to see what's going to happen.
Mhm.
And that's the same thing with video games. Like, I try to tell people, like, look, if you're not happy, right, just take like a day or two off, go do something else. Because for me, like, when I play the games and I get back to Destiny, I'm like, man, this game is like,
Oh, yeah.
it's just fun. Like, I'm like, there's
Oh,
no game that feels like this
Yeah.
at all. Like, you go in Nessus, so you're just sparing around. Like, the game is very beautiful, man. Like,
Oh
well
man.
designed.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Absolutely.
So it's one of those things like you might need to step away a little bit, and then you come back and you can enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have friends like step away and then come back and be like, man, I still hate Crucible. I'm like, it happens. I told you a few times, right?
No, you're
But
right, bro.
sometimes they come back like, man, a lot of these guys are bots. I'm killing everybody. I'm like, look, see, you happy, right? So you never know, man. You never know.
I agree, man. You gotta
Yeah.
always take a step back, recharge your batteries. And
Yeah.
even when I was playing Outriders for a while, and then obviously I had my issue with Outriders that I just solved myself. People like,
Yeah.
"What? I solved myself." Yeah, I didn't help me. But anyway, now all jokes aside, but it was good to log back in because I was like, you know what? Let me get the heir apparent catalyst. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to I know machine guns about to get the buff, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to get in that, have everything ready for the new meta before it shifts.
Mhm.
And I ain't gonna lie, when I got that cat, I was like, yo, this feel tanky as hell with this thing. Like, when you rev it up, and you got that extra
Yeah.
chill stuff. And then it was one of those things. I'm like, damn, nothing plays like this. It still feels good. It still looks good,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And the last point, you said that I completely agree that they could leverage is cross play for
Yep.
the fall.
Yeah.
That is big. So if they, like I said, even if the season is weak, you can put that in and be like, look, all Guardians together. You know what I mean? That's a big deal.
I mean, that'll
So,
build
yeah.
playlists. That'll build basically any streamer content creator at this point can just be like, I mean, the way Outriders did it, here's the join code, and you could help
Yes.
anity on any platform,
Yes.
Sherpas and
Long
stuff like
overdue.
that. Anybody in my streams, like, I don't play with that many because I'm on PC and there's a lot of console people. So
Mhm.
generally, it's like if they finally want to come in the game, and especially if it's PV, I'm not gonna care like what console they're
Mhm.
on per se. If I'm
Yeah.
on PC, I might know if they have an OG PS4, Xbox One, because those load times are gonna be slow. You learned that one on crossplay.
Oh, yeah.
But other
Good
than
luck,
that,
man.
Yeah. I learned that on Outriders. Like,
Yes.
I was like, man, what the hell's going on?
Like, what are you
who
doing?
don't
It's
got
like,
the NVMe? Who don't got the NVMe?
like I'm pretty sure my NVMe just could have built another hard drive for you by now. Come on. So
Which one of y'all run around with that mechanical
yeah.
drive?
It's like
Yeah.
I'm with you guys. Like I want them to take the time because they've mentioned what I have always mentioned armor I want to mean more. And they
Yeah.
mentioned they do want to make armor more than just like an annual stat replacement. I'm like, cool, an armor 3.0.
Mhm.
That's an exciting piece. Take the time you need to make that all you want. Same thing
Yeah.
with Witch Queen. You're bringing in Savathun. This is
Mhm.
like outside of Oryx, who you built up with Crota.
Huge.
This is somebody in the lore that people, if they're paying attention, have been hearing about for years.
Yeah.
I swear to God, if she's a strike boss, I'm gonna kill somebody.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and
Better
that,
not be a Zol situation.
yeah. So it's like they need to do Witch Queen right to kick off the final 3 years trilogy, whatever they're calling for the Light and Dark saga. So I want them to take the time and not rush anything. Take the time to QA extra stuff because Beyond Light came out a little funky.
Mhm.
Same stuff. So it's like I'm okay with the time. I'm just kind of curious how they're going to balance it. So it's like because I was wondering if this season might be 5 months or so to like extend that one a little more, so the next one was a little closer to their hopeful date. It could be 6 months, and
Yeah.
that's just going to be a weird timing to see. So I was kind of curious your guys' takes on that one. But as for timing wise, we are about to hit the nail literally on the head for our guest over here. He's been streaming early. I was up early and he's sitting there streaming
he was
already. I
up.
was like, man, dude, you've been going.
Mhm.
Like I get up early to go to work sometimes, like at 4:30 in the morning. But I was like, man, I need to tune in your stream at like 5. You'll be jamming already. So no,
Yeah, he was rocking, man.
he's an
He was
he's an
rocking.
early riser right now out there on the West Coast. So it goes.
Nice.
But yeah, at this point, I don't have much else left. Anything else you guys want to cover that I may have missed for upcoming stuff?
Yeah, I'm hyped, man. Nice little trailer, excited. Get ready to jump back in again, see what's going on and back to the life again. You know how we do.
Yeah.
Did you see the new aspect? It looks like the new aspect of Stasis. You know what's crazy about Beyond Light? We're still getting stuff of Beyond Light because we're still getting
Yes.
aspects
Right.
every season.
Mhm.
But I don't know if the Titan threw the grenade. It looked like the Warlock threw a grenade, right?
Yeah, the spear.
And it froze things.
Yes.
Yeah, and then after the things that were frozen got killed, it dropped the spear.
Mhm.
And then the spear anybody could pick up because I saw the Titan pick it up. But
Yep.
I'm pretty sure the Warlock threw that grenade.
Yes.
So we'll see how that goes. If you can pick up a spear and start like throwing at things in game, that should be fun too.
Yeah. Because they already have the mechanics from like the Warmind type spear. They already have that.
The javelins,
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they have like that concept built. They just frostify it basically. So Yeah,
And
that's one of those even things. Like I mentioned it in the trailer and shouted out the screenshot. And I'm like, yep,
yeah.
smooth forgot about that. So yeah, there's
Oh
a
yeah.
lot to look forward to for this
Mhm.
one. Narrative team has been absolutely killing it. So I mean,
Yeah.
where they take the story, good to see Ikora back. And again,
Yes.
if a different voice actor brings her back into the story more often, more power to it.
More power
Because
to it.
she's
Yeah.
always got some powerful moments when she just blows up a ship with a Nova bomb in the start of Destiny 2, and you're like, damn, she's got some
Mhm.
anger issues, but that's totally fine.
Yeah. For me, the big, Science fan, but I love the fact that they can kind of interact again and,
Yeah.
reaching out to Mithrax. So now we're not cut off from her. I like she's a Vanguard. Like she has
Yeah.
to be involved. So definitely like that seeing her again.
Well, that's
Mhm.
about all I got. Before we go, EK, outside of please go follow this man.
Yes.
Follow him everywhere. He's a quality dude. But if you jump in his chat, you will be nothing but like chill vibes. You are like one of the calm. You'll be in the middle of a grandmaster, like checking out chat, answering a question. You are the master of chill. So it's like, and it's a good thing. So if people want a peaceful, got some always good music. Like anytime I
Oh, the
popped
music's a
in,
vibe. Yeah,
like
the
doesn't
music's
matter
a
what it is. I'm just always sitting here, just like always
vibe.
bopping
Mhm.
to the beat.
Yeah, the
Um,
MJ too. I was like, yeah, let's go.
oh man, it's all that's the only man I will say. Like I work at a studio, and sometimes we'll record our classes and post them to our Facebook groups. They are private groups. Michael
Mhm.
Jackson is the fastest one to get muted. So it's like because I saw the algorithm is like it's a Michael Jackson song, we know it. So
Yep.
you
Yeah.
may hear it, but you're not going to hear it later. But yeah, always good music. But I want to say whatever you got coming up, anything cool to announce, anything fun, where they can find you, what you're going to be doing next season. Pretty much the floor is yours for whatever you would like to say to anybody who hears this.
Well, I don't think I have anything crazy coming up, but like I said, I'm like when it comes to seasons, I'm not like crazy excited, but I'm always looking forward to something new.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we're gonna be diving into.
Mhm.
I do hope at some point in the future, because I think they were talking about like more dark subclasses. I
Yes.
do hope at some point that like they go back into the light subclasses and figure that out. Like perfect example
Yes.
for me, right? I was hoping like stasis,
Mhm.
how it's set up is so nice, right? With fragments that could do different things. And then
Mhm.
you have like the slow, the freeze, and the shatter thing.
Mhm.
So imagine like maybe with like solar, uh you can basically burn and
Mhm.
then maybe or like heat then burn and then like what was it like Outriders has a pyro thing or whatever.
Oh
Yep.
yeah,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
you
yeah.
might be able to just like scorch after, right? Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
imagine something like that. And the
Fire.
subclasses that we have already set up as fragments in that class. I
Mhm.
want to see stuff like that in Destiny. So like I'm hoping to see more stuff like that.
Yeah.
And besides that, I've been chilling, man, just working on my health. So my schedule has changed a bit. So I do get up a lot earlier because my body's like, I'm not used to this yet. Thing. But yeah, I'm usually live on twitch.tv/Ekuegan, like most hours, most days.
Mhm.
And that's about it. You can find me there. If you have any questions, you can always ask me there or at me on Twitter.
No doubt. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Salute EK, man. Love the story. Love the energy. Love what you're doing in the community. The vibes is super chill. You know what I mean? Super knowledgeable on weapon reviews too. I love when you broke stuff down. I think I watched one of your Deep Stone Crypt raid weapon breakdowns.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. I love minutia like that. So just to see you go through that and the perks and stuff, love that. Keep up the good work, man. Absolutely fun. Yeah, for me, man, at Lord Cognito on Twitter, you already know. And Iron Lord Podcast every Sunday, the Lord's Day. Check us out. We're gonna have Chase Money on Sunday. So that'll be good, kind of like fun comedic streamer, really
Nice.
cool vibes as well. And then on Saturday will be a special edition Iron Lord Podcast, big debate in the community
Oh
between
yeah.
in eve of the Mass Effect trilogy, there is a big debate between which Mass Effect is the best Mass Effect. So it's Team
Oh.
Mass Effect 1. I'm on Team Mass Effect 2. We got some heavy hitters coming to this debate. That'll be Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern. So if you're into Mass Effect and you want to get hype and hear grown men and their feelings about which one is the best,
Oh god.
check us out because
EK,
it
do you
will
have
be
a dog
crazy.
in this fight? Because I've never played any of them. Actually, I've
No,
got to.
I'm out of this one.
Please
But
check
it's
it
gonna
out.
be funny to
And
watch.
actually, I'm curious about you two because you two are coming in new, so to speak. So after you guys get the trilogy, I'm very curious to see, what people think.
Oh
But
yeah,
it's gonna be
Cognito's
fun.
going to be chomping at the bit to know how I feel when I play through the
Yes.
remaster, because it's going to be the refreshed. It's not the
Yep.
OGs, and that's why he's
Yeah.
doing the debate before the refresh comes out,
Before. Yes.
so they can't polish up the
Exactly.
first
'Cause
one.
making a lot of changes to Mass Effect 1 to make it on par with Mass Effect 2, but that's neither here nor there.
Ooh.
That's neither here nor there. But salute. It should be a fun
Look at
one. We
him
got
already defending his
listen,
title before it's even
listen,
there.
oh, Jetway Jesus, my man. But now, the Mass Effect 1 squad we got bro. They got Hogue Law. They got Bill Still. They got an all-star team with debaters. So we got to come correct. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to
I was
Forte.
like, they got a full-on attorney on their side, so he
Yeah,
came
they
he
got
came to argue. So
Oh yeah, he did definitely do. He shout out to Hogue. It's gonna be fun. But like I said, if you like that kind of stuff, check it out. It'll be Saturday, 4 p.m.
we got 2 Mass Effect 2 votes in there
I'm
for you,
not.
so you got a couple.
This is my
You're like,
campfire right here. That's what I'm talking about. Right. Let's go. Let's go to what you eat.
yeah, Resident Evil 2. So I've got kind of the weekend to myself. My wife's going to visit her family, so I've got Resident Evil 8. Basically gonna blow through that when I get up tomorrow, because I'm taking my wife to the airport at like 4:30 in the morning. So I'm gonna come home,
Wow.
sleep, get up, have breakfast, and basically jump back into that one on Saturday.
Nice.
After that, probably back into more Eternal, because I do want to keep pushing. I got to the third world.
Nice.
God, every biome is like an escalation. You're like, oh, this can't get. This is okay. This is
Oh, yeah.
insanely crazier. So third biome was kicking my butt a little bit. So working through that one. It's a hell of a game, though. I mean, I know it had the bugs, and some people. It's not for everyone, but it is a hell of a game that they made, and I'm glad somebody was like, yeah, go ahead. It's like
Mhm.
somebody releasing Dark Souls for the first time. It's like, this is a third person arcade bullet hell shooter roguelike. And they're like, yeah, go nuts. And they did a really great job so far. The story's kind of intriguing, very curious what goes. So Returnal will probably be like Sunday and stuff. And then, of course, you guys know Tuesday, we're all going to be neck deep in Destiny. So
Oh yeah.
that will be fun. Other than that, I think we will wrap this one up here. But a big shout out to you, Ekuegan. Is that the way to say it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, just a pleasure to have the man with the legendary golden vault. It is like since I've seen that tweet, I was like, dude, we have to get you on here, because that is, if nothing else, like putting all my vault to shame. Everybody's like, oh, your vault. And I'm like, yeah, mine's trash. His is actually full, but for a good reason. So it's good to be there. But no, it's like, keep doing what you're doing, and believe me, you're an amazing piece of this community, and your community itself is pretty amazing. So thank you for all that you've done for all the people out there. You put in a lot of work in making people very happy.
Facts.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
No doubt.
Well, for episode number 148, this is where we're going to wrap this thing up. So thank you guys. Hopefully you have a good weekend. Check out all these amazing gentlemen over there and down there. Saturdays, Sundays, streaming, podcasting, and all that good stuff. But for this episode, it has been The Last Word.